Hello everyone and welcome to round 3 of William Buck Premier Men's VAFA action on Community TV. But not only that, you can watch every game of Premier Men's right now. It's showcase round in the VAFA's top flight with every single second of the action from all 5 games live and free on vafa.com.au. Today we bring you one of the great rivalries of local footy. It's Old Scotch v Old Xaverians, with both teams looking to bounce back after shock losses last week. Carl Cummins with you for this one. Great to have your company, and if you were watching the match prior, the under-19s on Community TV, you'll be all too familiar with Cale Panuto and Cooper Watkins, who join me on the cans. Gents, welcome in. Cale, I'll start with you.
Oh, it's great to be here. Obviously, two sides who were very, very good last year. And, Old Zavs, I think at some point last year they were maybe like 8-1 or something like that. Yep. They've started 1-1. Look, maybe not the start they probably were hoping for. For Old Scotch, they're also 1-1. They were very slow out of the blocks to start last year when they were reigning premiers, and they sort of walked out of the gates early days, and they scraped their way back into finals contention. I reckon there's a game I called against, might have been Uni Blues or Uni Blacks, where they were...
You'd written them off.
They lost. I said as he kicked the goal, grimly kicked the goal to win it, and I said Old Scotch's season is done. And then they came from the clouds and made finals and went all the way to a grand final. Only went.
It was unbelievable, though. I think you can be excused because they had to have 7 results go exactly their way in the final 3 games. They had to win 3. Haileybury had to lose 3, and the Blacks had to lose a couple as well.
So I wasn't wrong for writing them off.
Yep.
But look, I did write them off, and they came from the clouds, and this should be a cracking clash today.
Yeah, and in your intro, Calla, I think the big one for me, just going into sort of on the surface of the season so far, is just 2 teams that are coming off big losses last week that are the very surprising losses, and these are both 2 really good teams that have had success over the last couple of years, and good teams bounce back after bad results like that. So I'm really interested to see how that works out. Obviously, if you watch the under-19s coverage, you know that the wind is favouring the right side of your TV or however you're watching. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. It's probably about a 3 to 4 goal breeze, and the Cardinals have elected to go that way in the first quarter. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, the shock results that we talked about last week, the Old Zavs completely embarrassed, to be frank, against Old Trinity. A 6-goal defeat against the newly promoted Prem B side. They've made 5 changes to the team today, taking their place in the team today. Alex Spralia, he'll be straight into the ruck, making a difference, no question, against Big Will Coates, alongside Woodhouse, McIsaac, Ganji and Holmes, making way for Whitehead, Davey, Bilson, McGillen, Kennedy and Jack O'Sullivan. As for the Cardinals, just 2 changes come their way. A much handy inclusion of Aidan Frenetic. He's donning the number 33 this season. And a new name on the Cardinals team sheet is Caleb Nancaro. He is going to be one to watch in the number 58 today. He's a part of the Gold Coast Suns Academy last season. He's playing for the Cardinals for the first time today, making his VAFA and Cardinals debut. He's one of the inclusions, of course, as well as Frenetic and Brady and Hume are the ones going out. But we mentioned last week, Old Scotch, they did everything right. They only lost by 2 points in the end against St Bernards, but they led all day, basically, up until the 26-minute mark of the 4th term, where the Snow Dogs came roaring over the top with the final few goals of the game and knocked off the Cardinals. Of course, it is a prelim final replay from last season. It went right down to the final kick of the game, where Angus Jones kicked a goal with just 13 seconds on the clock to send Old Scotch into the Premier Men's Grand Final last season. 94-93 it was on that day. Will we see a repeat here at Camberwell Sports Ground? Cooper Watkins, I'll come to you first. You're on special thanks to Hit IQ's game-changing Protect concussion management system. Where does your tip lie?
Oh, that's I'm going to go just on exposed form, what I saw last year. I saw a few of these 2 teams a couple times last year. I'll lean the way of Old Scotch.
Scotch for you, Cal?
Look, guys, I went Old Scotch in game number 1, and for 3 quarters I was correct, and then they got run down. I don't think the Old Scotch fans will be happy if their arch rivals walk out of here with a clean sweep in the double header. I'm going to have to lean Scotch once again because a broken clock is right once a day. That
was the pre-game show thanks to Holmes Glen, leading provider of vocational and higher education for 40 years of experience and more than 140,000 graduates. It's TAFE at its best. Let's get roaring then. Camberwell Sports Ground. It's Cale Panuto to get the action underway.
Well, It is Will Clark and I believe Spralia in the ruck as we are about to get things underway. Both teams milling around and waiting. There's a little bit of a hold
That's
up
a really great battle in the ruck line, just by the way. Spralia was unbelievable to start the season last year, so that's a cracking battle to watch.
Well, talk about unbelievable. Cal Cummins will have some stats on Will Clark.
Oh boy, does he ever.
Last week, it was just unfathomable what he did last week.
He's had an incredible start to this year, Will Clark, nicknamed the Extractor. And he certainly did a lot of extracting and goal kicking. They're just waiting on the siren here. Ball's been aloft for about a minute or so. So we're just waiting upon that. There we go. Well, the round 3 action between Old Zavs and Old Scotch is about to get underway, and it's Clark and Spralia, and immediately it's one down. Hansen was dumped in a tackle, a very good one at that from Barter, and we will have a ball up. So Ollie Barter was very good last year for Old Scotch. A lot of returning players, good continuity among Zav's way. Bit of pace on it early. Dangerous sort of a slinging motion. Spencer kicking shot at goal.
Touch.
I believe it's been touched off the boot. And Campbell Lane, the skipper, has kicked the first score of the game, it being a minor one.
So a nice little start there for the old Xaverians. Cormac, no surprises. He's on the kicking duties. Little crunching effort there at half-back. Lovely slick hands to pick it up now here by Simons. Spun out of trouble and then spun back into trouble. He's been caught dead, holding the footy. So Zavs with multiple attempts at goal in the first 60 seconds of this one. Long kick up towards McIsaac. One piece, couldn't quite get it. Cormac won the ball down. Little fist out towards the pocket. Charlie's got it again, and that kick's not going to trouble the scorers. And it's gone out of bounds on the full.
Now, look, I know he's a sensational superstar forward in this competition. That was very optimistic.
Well, I'd say you mentioned the form he's in. He's kicked 3 goals in each of the first 2 games to start 2026. 54 goals in all last year. 5 goals in the prelim last year. So I think he's well within his rights to have a go. But you're right, that was a bit audacious. I thought he might have cleared the...
That nearly equal is audacious.
Exactly right. Kick coming back. Ball in the hands of Spencer.
So Spencer, overlap handball's a good one. Cormac's going to send it wider down the line. Frenetic, first time he's touched the football today. Aiden Frenetic, he had an incredible year last year. He's such a spark plug for this team. I reckon first game of AFA footy I called, he played incredibly well against De La Salle and was all over the park. He might have had 40 disposals that day. He's in for a big year, one would have thought. Clark and Spralia doing the ruck battle once again. Both ruckmen able to 50-50 that contest. Kick there of Hansen was smothered. He's been everywhere early. Clark fed the handball forward to Batter, who fed the handball further on to Brown, who goes inside forward 50. Kick a little bit audacious, went past Ferguson and has gone out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. Just 2.5 minutes played in this first quarter.
Let's get those big guys involved. Clark, Barter, Brown, I should say. They were absolutely formidable last week.
And they're going to have to play a big role here today if Old Scotch are going to get another win on their record as the ball is thrown back in. So it's Spralia and Ferguson doing the ruck duties on that occasion. Ball went a little bit wider. Now they're able to fan it out. It's a good set of hands there from the back from Duncan, not able to mark. Ball ends up on the deck here. It's Ralph who's going after it. He's got plenty of speed to burn Ralph. He's one of the quicker guys you'll see in the VAFA. And being walked over the boundary line is Townsend for a boundary throw-in.
Be interesting to see, with touching on that ruck battle, that Will Clark's obviously sort of playing off the ball there, so when it goes inside forward 50, he's not bothering with doing the ruck duties, and he's just going to sit back as that extra man.
Clark in the ruck this time around against Spralia. Clark from the back won the ball down, then went and just go chase the football off a couple of fingertips, one of which was Scott. Umpire watching this one closely. Barter was in there alongside Clark. It spills towards the bottom of the contest. Bodies are just flying in. Hard to get a clean possession in all of this. Once again, umpire circles it closely, and amongst it there was Barter again. And he was underneath it all as the umpire's going to be called into duty. It's only 3.5 played in this first term for McQueen Financial Group. Zavs 1, Scotch 0. And umpire will be called into duty for repeat ball ups. Spralia v Clark once again. Little hurry to kick, didn't quite go the journey. Well done there by Ganji just to get a hurry kick forward. Cormac, courageous as ever. That's why they put him back there, Charlie Cormac. The newly appointed skipper of Old Scotch. He drives it up towards half forward. Clark was the target, and why wouldn't you? Couldn't quite get the ball down. McRae was good. Spralia fed it on by hand. Slick hands there by Bobby Knott. And that ball is going to be a free. It's going to be a free kick to the Xaverians. I think high contact just on the handball. There's not. It's a nice,
out of bounds
careful
on the full.
pass. It was going for McRae, but he's actually put it too wide. It is out of bounds on the full. You're right, Carl.
So a turnover here. Scotch kicking to the windy end of the ground. If you've just joined us from the 19's coverage, you'll know they were kicking some sensational goals. That's a very good kick inside forward 50. Max Scott has laced out a teammate directly in front of the sticks. And it looks to be Ferguson who has the football in his hands. And this is the goal kicking end. And just quietly, since the start of the seniors game, the crowd's starting to build here. They're coming out in full force. Obviously a big double header this afternoon here at Campbellville Sports Ground. Benjamin Ferguson is on the runway. It's a pretty simple kick. He has kicked it into the man on the mark. So commentator's curse lives on with me once again as the ball is sent back out towards the outer wing and will be a boundary throw in. I'm just going to stop saying kicks are simple and easy.
It's a pretty poor error to be making fundamentally, though, when there's no need to be covering any extra steps to get distance when the wind's been working like it has.
Well, a good opportunity here for Old Scotch. They get repeat entries. They lock it in their forward half. It's Ferguson who just kicked it into the man on the mark who's doing the ruck duties. Follow-up tackle was very, very good in the end. And they bounce along the boundary line. Ball up it will be deep in the forward pocket. So 6 minutes gone here, opening quarter. Coops, it's been a very, very back and forward game thus far. Nobody yet to impact the scoreboard.
Very similar to the 19's game, actually, Cal. Just sort of working each other out. Obviously, the wind playing a bit of a part, but yeah, two big teams that are just trying to tactically work each other out, see where they're at, see how they can configure what they need to do.
Neither side really giving an inch at the minute. We're playing inside the Scotch forward zone at the moment. Dunn was diving in amongst it alongside Spralia. On the outside there for the Cardinals was Townsend. And umpire's going to be called into duty once again. No one able to get a clean position.
Cal, do you have a fourth quarter stat for Old Scotch seniors?
Not as good as the 19's one. No, that did live up to the billowing. And as this ball's tracking towards the line, just inside the field of play, and now the boundary umpire's going to call for it. We'll get a boundary throw in. So 1 plays nil, almost like a soccer scoreline through 7 minutes, and a blood rule. I can see over on the far side of the ground, just trying to pick out who it is. Looks like one of the Cardinals players has got a bit of claret from his nose. So we'll just take a short pause here at the Camberwell Sports Ground.
What did you think, given what we saw at the under-19s game and the wind of Old Scotch's decision to go with the wind first quarter, Cal?
Don't mind it. I don't mind it. It's clearly a scoring end down towards that far side of the ground. And we mentioned
you're happy for that decision to sort of try and get on the scoreboard early instead of thinking about what it could be in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, put some scoreboard pressure on immediately. That's generally what the safe bet is. But I also don't mind the fact that teams can back themselves in when they kick into the breeze if they choose to try and defend that. At the moment, though, the Cardinals, with the scoring end, haven't put anything on the scoreboard. It's 7.5 played first term. 1 plays nil. Ball palmed down. It's now going to live in the pocket. I think it might have come offhand. It has. We need a boundary throw in right at the forward pocket here for Old Scotch. Through 8 minutes of this first term for McQueen Financial Group.
You'd hate to waste the super kicking scoring end.
No question. Particularly from outside 50. Those balls have just been flying. Lovely little crumb from the ruckman. Ferguson it was, but it was touched off the boot. And he levels proceedings. We're at 1 apiece through 8.5 minutes.
Well, first score for Old Scotch. And it is a minor one, but regardless, they've both had a few little scores on the board early. That kick is cut off. Very poor use out of back 50. And Barring is going to have the shot here. It's a difficult kick. Deep in the pocket, right in front of the scoreboard, and this would be a genuine goal that they contender thanks to Marshall White if he's able to put this through. So Barring goes long, hasn't quite kicked it as well as what he would have liked. It was more a set-up kick and hope than anything. There's a free kick holding the football. Frenetic taking it, a very good tackle, and I believe it's Walford who will have the kick, maybe. They're all the way down the other end of the ground. It's a difficult one to pick out. Players about 200 metres away regardless. Ball's brought back in. Clark, the ruckman, trying to do it below his knees, wasn't able to. Brunsonar was going back into traffic, and the kick up the line. Cormac cuts it off and immediately spreads back inside. A juggling attempt for Townsend. He goes further afield, goes even wider now. Nancaro. And the kick to Brown was good. So they're not really getting much territory here. It's kind of just past the parcel. Caldwell runs, bounces. Central love that one. Kick was very difficult. And now they're out here once again. Cormac does the running. The skipper, very good kick down the line. This is lace out to a forward. Just hung in the air a little bit. And on the receiving end of it, the kick wasn't able to hit the target.
See what Old Scotch is trying to do, trying to use the width of the ground, switching short kicks, and then attacking through that way. It's going to look a little bit different in the under-19s game in terms of ball use, I think.
Still awaiting the game's first goal. We're 10.5 played in the first term. Ferguson won the ball down there against Duncan. Then the follow-up work needed to be good. On the outside there was Scott. He was close to the boundary line. Zavs win the ball back. Brosnan did well enough to feed it back inside the field of play. Clark onto the inside. Nice ball that found Dixon. He passes it across the face of goal. Trying to find out there long. He will paddle it towards the line. And we've now got repeat stoppages. It feels like inside the attacking forward 50 here for the Cardinals.
Yeah, peppering early. There's not a lot to the Zavs movement instead of that first sort of 2 minutes of the game, but that's kind of to be expected with this wind.
VAFA Premier Men's Showcase round here on vafa.com.au and our KTV double header. The second leg here. Brosnahan fed it on by hand. Stolen in the end. The Cardinals trying to make something of it. Couldn't quite do so. Umpires found a free kick holding the ball. The Zavs looked to transition quickly. They switch it out towards the broadcast side. Ralph just overran the football ever so slightly. Had numbers in support. Next in the chain here was Tregar. He's going to paddle it along the line. Feeds it over the top towards Dunn. Next in the chain here is Connor Dunn. Lowers the eyes. The Dunn brothers trying to connect. Not quite working, and it's going to be coming straight back. Quinny Spencer takes the mark in the back pocket.
An opportunity here for Scotch. There's a dinky little kick from Spencer. Found the target. And Charlie Cormac's had a lot of it early. Spreads it. Henry Brown also had a lot of it early. Now goes up the line. It was a well-weighted ball. It actually got to its intended target in Dixon. Wasn't able to take the mark. A few heads go clashing in. Scotch trying to get it back the other way. Leeton goes very long and high. Could almost bring the rain down with those clouds starting to barrel in. We know it's coming sometime tomorrow. Might bring it early. Dangerous kick into the middle of the ground. There's an
downfield free kick.
Downfield free kick. Pushing the back off the ball. Zavs are
pushed.
still playing and transitioning it forward. Very slow to get up here on the end of it. Hopefully he's okay.
You mentioned, Carl, the two guys who have had a lot of the ball early for the Cardinals. Henry Brown, he had 28 last week alongside 15 contested possessions and 12 clearances. As for Cormac, he had 26 of his own.
Oh, Wolford with the football. That's a very poor kick. It's just sort of dunked up in the middle of a spot. No real target. Spencer again. And then Leeton, who punted it along the ground. That kick's a dangerous one. Well picked up there by Batter, who fired it back inside to Brown, who then was pushed in the back or held. Either one. Take your pick. It is a free kick going Scotch's way, and they look to attack once again. He's going to go very long here, Brown, towards the top of the 50. Little fly from the side. Ball's found its way to the back. Mind you, by the way, 14 minutes gone. Neither team has kicked a goal. Zavs have sent it back up the line here. Ball gets to the back. Gathered there by Dunn, who was under the pump. Kick up the line to Delaney. He's fisted away, and we'll have a boundary throw in.
You can tell Old Scotch are using extra men in their defence pretty well. I mean, obviously with the win, the Zavs are going to struggle to score, but Clark multiple times is just sitting behind the footy, so they don't really have much avenue to go with the Zavs when they get the ball moving.
As you say, Cale, we're 14 minutes into this first term, I should say, from Macquarie Financial Group. One plays one. No one wants to make the first impact on the scoreboard. Clark, slick hands down towards Lean, who was trying to emerge with the football. Umpire's going to cross his chest and call for it.
Oh, a bit slow to get up here. I think it's Henry Brown.
Yeah, just grabbing at the right side of his head. In fact, it was Cooper Lean, the one who was down on his haunches. Trying to go to the football there was Charlie Holmes into the team this week. A kick goes out towards half forward. And Old Scotch pretty content in seeing that ball over and out. It's going to be a lasso free kick back in towards the middle of the ground. Nice ball that found Max Scott. 14 possessions last week. His first season as a Cardinal. He goes out towards Nankaro. Nankaro, nice easy ball around the defensive zone. And Old Scotch just playing in numbers at the minute. Happy to retreat some territory and come all the way back. Switching things up and changing the angles. A little aggressive ball in towards the middle. It's a poor kick in the end that found Ralph. Feeds it on towards Lane. Drives up towards Charlie. And McIsaac's marked about 15 out. Slide angle. This should, you'd think, be the first goal of the game.
It's a great kick inside forward 50 again. We saw that with the 19s games. It's those games that are just ducking it in quick, getting it low, can't take too much wind when you're getting a kick inside forward 50 like that.
Charlie McIsaac with 6 goals across the first couple of games so far in 2026. He puts that one through. We're finally underway here at Camberwell Sports Ground. The Zavs, they move to 1-1-7. Old Scotch, one behind.
And straight off.
As every goal scorer does.
Pet peeve.
It's key forwards for you.
Yeah, that's it.
I'll kick the goals, walk off, go sit on the bench for 10 minutes, come back on.
It's a good start for Zavs. That's the way that you're going to be able to kick goals heading down this end. Keeping entries low. Wind won't affect it, and then getting set shots within 20 to 25. Wind won't affect any set shots when you're that close.
Well, is it a shock that one of the best key forwards this competition has to offer has opened the account here for Old Zavs? And, we're locked at 7-1, more than halfway through the opening term. Ollie Batter, he had plenty of options, then delayed the give. Now it's with Max Scott. A little bit fumbly, and that's a free kick surely for a dump behind the play. It will come back. The non-adjudicating umpire is the one who's paid it. It was a dump tackle, and it should come right back here into Max Scott's hands. And Old Scotch will look to send it forward. Kick into the middle of the ground. Oh, it was a dangerous sort of a ball. Now Clark, the spinning pirouette. That was Marlon Pickett-esque, and he's about 205 centimetres tall. Ballgan's up at half forward. Ferocious tackling from Old Zavs. There's about 4 or 5 of them around it. Now this kick goes long up the line. Wait. Caldwell went back.
Ooh.
And a free kick going Zavs' way. Somehow a 2-on-1 has ended up in a Zavs free kick. It's with Delaney.
We're in the middle of, as you say, 2 Cardinals players to be enough there. Ed Delaney. He's assessing his options down the line. Amongst it there was Dunn. One hand to it, one on there by McRae. Fed on towards the outside. Ganji goes back to go forward. Then a long kick inside the attacking 50 to no avail. Coming back with Barter, who takes the mark inside the defensive zone. Then goes straight up the spine. It's a really, really errant kick in the end. Hanson recovers. Feeds it back inside towards Walford. And he's laid in too. We get a stoppage in the heart of Camberwell Sports Ground. 17 played first term.
Yeah, it's an interesting kick. I know that they're trying to be aggressive. You probably don't have to be that aggressive.
Ball still inside the middle, and Townsend's just making sure his man goes nowhere.
Nick Guiney copped a massive knock at that last contest. Came flying in, got his legs taken out.
Been in the wars early. Has Nick Guiney as the Zavs look to march their way forward. Delaney just tried to paddle it in front of himself. Handballed it out in the direction there of Hamish McIsaac. Didn't quite find him by hand. Lovely crunching tackle there. Nothing quite doing. Holmes will be feeling the rewards. Out towards the pocket we go. Underneath it there, Beckworth did really well just to bring that ball to ground. And we get a ball in, I believe, about 15 metres around from the Zavs goal. But they're looking a little bit more promising at the moment, are the Zavs.
Big opportunity now for them maybe to kick a second and get a little bit more scoreboard ascendancy.
Delaney and Clark as well on the ruck.
Oh, Clark just worked his way to the front, paddled it forward. Willing his way to the football was Cormac. He has just been everywhere early. Can't wait to see Premier Data later on. He's going to have a fair chunk of it today, one would have thought. Straight off the hands of Lean. Had a missed opportunity there. Going past it there in the end. as that ball was on the ground was Nancaro. Now at the back with Spencer, and we'll have a ball up here. Tackled was, just trying to see, we don't have a 21 on the sheet. That's helpful.
I think Townsend's injured behind play for Old Scotch.
Ball brought back into dispute. Scrappy sort of a ball now. And at half forward, a free kick going the Zavs' way. Immediately Hansen gave the handball off. A little bullet pass toward the top of the square. And very happy to paddle it over. Here's Quinn Spencer, and that'll be a minor score. So Old Xaverians 1-2, playing 0-1-1. And, this first quarter scoreboard update thanks to McQueen Financial Group.
You just mentioned Coach Will Townsend only just now getting to his feet. It's probably on his haunches for about 2 to 3 minutes.
It's one of those weird ones, especially, you see those injuries in the AFL with a few of those, spleen and ribs. When they take a long time to get up, you start to get really worried.
Charlie Cormack once again will just drive the ball outside the defensive zone, up towards the wing. Clark was his target, couldn't quite bring it to ground. He's going to stand on the outside and then be called into ruck duties once again. That Clark-Spralia battle is going to be an absolute beauty, as it has been so far as we enter time on.
Another blood rule and
blood rule at Spralia, you're right.
With that as well, I think it's just one of those ones where it's just going to go all day. Like, they're just going to go tit for tat. Like, they're just two of the class players in the competition. They just go all day, both of them.
Oh, tit for tat's probably a good way of putting it. One will give... Well, it's like a heavyweight fight.
Big time.
One throws a punch, the other one throws a punch. I'll go the full 12 rounds, both of them. Don't you worry about that. Ollie Batter, he is well chased, and the ball is going to end up over the boundary line for the old lasso. Rein it in, Cowboy. Charlie Knott will have the football on the receiving end of this.
Just made a note that I've just seen Jack O'Sullivan is out there, despite being named out of this team by Dan Denali during the week. So he's back out there today.
Swing a late change, Cal.
There's been 2 or 3 late changes across the park today, so we're sort of getting used to it at this point. Goss will mark the ball defensive side of the wing. Kicks it in the middle of the ground. That found Hansen. Maybe a little arm chop. It was there. He's about 70 from home. McIsaac wants it in the pocket. He's got Nancaro for company. Hansen assesses his options and then goes long. Delaney's the target. One piece, not the second. And we get a stoppage right in front of us in the broadcast position. Forward pocket here for the Old Zavs.
In a classic forward fashion, Oscar Duncan was absolutely screaming that in the pocket and then didn't even jump at it.
In the end, he's going to be involved here. Delaney and Clark going to be the rucks. In the forward pocket, half forward region. Delaney from the front. Clark just read the ball well, then put the hands up and just thumps it forward by hand. Out towards space. Asked a bit of his players to run into it, one of which was Walford. And a free kick is going the Zavs' way. They've been dominating territory in this last 10 to 15 minutes. And Kai Walford will receive the free kick. 25 possessions last week. It's his first season of footy since 2023. Nancaro drives his body up towards it. Did well to feed it at ground level. Then a snapping ball goes goalward. Not going to work out. Clark marks last line of defence.
Now that he's got the football, it might be a good time for Cal to read out his stats from last week.
Take a breath as we go through these. 61 hit-outs, 25 disposals.
He's turned it over, wait. The commentator's curse lives on. Sorry, Will, we won't pump you up. I'm sorry. The kick over the top. McIsaac bodied out of it. Now Nancaro sends it long up the line. This will be coming back. I want Cal to have an opportunity to finish. That's a grubby sort of a kick. Ralph really had to stretch to try and win it on the deck. He's throwing the weight around. Beck was smashed off the ball. This ball's going to come straight back in, though. Hart. Never mind. It's going to go the long approach. They found it wide. There's a few options queuing up in the middle of the ground. They continue to spread it wide. Ganji stops and waits. Patient. Slow build up here from the Zavs this time. Will Clark's just set back in the hole. That's why they're being so patient. Ganji again. Now they've got a lead. He's going to honour it. He's going to put it right in the head of Delaney. Instead, over his head. Now Knott goes back. Oh, well smothered. It was a kick that probably would have gone close. I think it was Spencer who smothered it. Do you want to continue with the stats now?
See if we can finish this one off. Yeah, so 61 hit-outs, 25 touches, 19 contested, 5 marks, of which 5 of them were 9 marks, I should say, 5 contested, 8 clearances, and 3 goals for 208 ranking points for Big Will Clark. He's going to try to be one to ignite them. Clearing kick out there from Leighton. Just clears the immediate danger, but it's coming straight back in. McRae, the target, got it. Tommy McRae just drops straight into the hole, and he'll look to kick the Zavs second.
It's a couple times in this quarter that the ball's just kind of swayed over Old Scotch defenders that just haven't read it that well. I don't know if the wind's sort of turning a bit and swirling more now, but that's a few times it's flown over defenders and the forwards are just reading the drop of the ball better. 19
touches in game 50 last week for Tommy McRae. This for his first of the afternoon. He's played 13 VFL games in his career, 11 for Casey, 2 for Footscray, and that one is absolutely pure off the boot.
Cal, can I just say that's probably the best set shot in a Xavier jersey that I've seen going this way all day today.
Oh, no one's been able to kick up this end the whole bloody day, and now someone has. They've started strongly.
It's a big advantage.
No, it's not the windy end.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's it. So I'd be interested. I'll head down a quarter time just to see where the conditions have changed at all. But, yeah, to be honest, it's just been the better of the two teams in this sort of last 10 minutes. It's been hot footy. It hasn't been pretty footy, that's for sure, but it's turned into 2 goals for the Zavs.
Well, it was very, very obvious that the gap between... I know Old Scotch made the grand final, but the gap between the top 2 teams last year was pretty sizable. It was old Zavs and old Brighton, and many tipped them both to go to the grand final, but they didn't. Done. That's a little bit scrappy at the back end of that. And, Tommy McRae, after kicking the last goals, had to pull up and try to stop himself from whacking into the fence.
Not ideal.
No, not ideal at all.
Some interesting around the grounds as well. We'll get to them at quarter time.
We're hopefully not too far away from quarter time. We're at about the 26-minute mark here of the opening term. Opening term that hasn't yielded much scoring. Very similar to the other game today. 14 plays 1. Old Zavs by 13. They're an opportunity here to go forward once again. Taking the long route, Jack O'Sullivan. And the ball's being turned over here, back in congestion. And we'll have a ball up here eventually. They're finally able to lock this one up. And Will Clark and Spralia, who's... I believe, from what I can see here, has got a little bit of a bandage on his head. Kind of got a squint to look at it, but it looks like he got something on his head, maybe from where he was busted open just before. As the ball goes back up into congestion, Spralia just smacks it forward. It's actually not Spralia, rather, it's Oscar Duncan. So Spralia's still on the bench. There you go. That's what happens when you call a game and a half of footy. The brain starts to slow down as McRae just bursts through. Sends the ball back in towards the middle of the 50. Delaney. And we'll have another stoppage deep in attacking half for Old Zavs.
27 played then first term from McQueen Financial Group. Zavs doing everything right in the dying embers of this opening term. Happy to see that ball.
2 Zavs boys are just taking each other out, and they're both down.
Yeah, Campbell Lane and Julian Ganji, the ones who are down. Campbell Lane was among the better players last week. 30 possessions, 12 of them contested. There's a reason why he's the co-captain of this footy club alongside Marcus Stavro, who is out of the team alongside Fisher. Beautifully done there by Nancaro, showing his class on display. He's running to the outside, doesn't opt to go that way. Clark then throws it up towards centre-half forward. Couldn't quite find a target by foot. Ball in dispute. Goes Goldwood. Trying to get a little palm in there. Good enough long just to keep the ball in motion. The Cardinals causing some problems. Barter, lovely little step. Came back on his left side. Had his kick smothered, but in the pocket. Watching it closely on that occasion there was Simons. Umpire's going to be called into duty. In fact, we've gone out of bounds. We'll get a boundary throw-in.
That's clearly going to be the way to go for anyone heading down that way. That end is just scrubbing it forward. That was multiple times we saw in the 19s game. If you can just scrub it forward, you're going to get good results.
14 plays 1, 28 gone in this opening term. The Cardinals, it feels like it's the first time they've had a real chance to score for about 10 to 15 minutes. Ferguson in the ruck this time around against Spralia. Couldn't quite get the ball away. Watching it closely on that occasion there was Walsh. He had to bump his man out the way to go cleanly. Comes out towards O'Sullivan and the Zavs with the back of the contest, courtesy of Ralph, and then feeds it out wide towards Goss. He kicks it along the line, asks a little bit there of Dunn. He gathers the football just before running out of play and actually kept the ball alive on towards McIsaac. He goes long up towards Delaney. Couldn't quite take the mark. Nancaro was watching it closely. He had to be upended alongside Leighton. And Clark now, as the Cardinals look to repel outside the far side of the ground. Punched over, we get a boundary throw-in.
to tick over the 29-minute mark here of the opening term, and
It's your free kick.
I think it's a lasso, high tackle, who knows. Regardless, ball is being brought back in. McMillan went pretty short up the line, but he's got a big target in Will Clark, who's able to reel and go and send it inside the forward 50. A few numbers there on the outside. Simons, I think, was taken high.
See, that's the interesting one, because I feel like half the umpires would pay that as you initiate the contact and might pin him holding the ball, and half the umpires will see the head-high contact and just go for it.
It did look like he dropped it. Obviously, we're a fair way back from him, but it did look like he dropped his knees a little bit. But he did also have his head taken off, so it's a bit of harder one to adjudicate.
So Angus Simons has kicked a couple of goals this year, both coming in round one, I believe, and that's a minor score for Old Scotch. And it's a 2-goal ball game, 2-2-14, 0-2-2. So sort of a very similar scoreline, but opposing sides to what the 19s game was. We're about to tick over 30 minutes played opening term.
2-2 the Zabs, as you say, 2 behinds for Old Scotch. They've been goalless on their home deck. They're looking to bounce back after a defeat to the Snow Dogs last week, where they started quite nicely. Not quite seeing the same result here today. Handball comes inside. Amongst it there was Mackayzak as well as Dunn. Handball comes feeding over the top, and they've got numbers in spades here, the old Xaverians. Transitioning through the middle. Lane feeds one over the top once again, then just overran the football. There was Ralph. He had to handball it back, and he was actually pushed into the netting as he did so, but the umpire's going to ignore that, and we're going to get a boundary throw in at half forward here for the Zabs.
Interesting couple of minutes here. Both teams probably happy to get to quarter time, I would have thought, especially Old Scotch now that it's in the Zabs territory.
Interesting. We've only had 2 goals, but now 31 minutes into this first term for McQueen Financial Group. The Zabs have had control from start to finish so far. Lovely work on that occasion there by Holmes, just to go in and win the football. His intended target by hand there was Ralph. For the Zabs, courtesy of numbers back with Goss. He just had to go and win it, did, then drives it forward. Brosnahan or Mackayzak couldn't quite. Brosnahan spins, handles it forward. Mackayzak fires at goal. It's going to dribble right across the face and then out of play. Ball in.
I don't even think he knows how he's done that.
And sort of bounced on all sorts of angles.
It was the reverse.
Going everywhere.
He's kicked it the reverse way from what he wanted it to go.
It's a weird thing, the Sharon. So this is right in front of our broadcast position here at Camberwell Sports Ground. 31 and a half gone. Deep inside the attack here for the Xaverians. Clark v. Delaney. Clark won the ball down, trying to emerge it very aggressively. Clark has given away a free kick. High contact is going the way of Jack O'Sullivan.
That's a killer.
Right on quarter time, a killer. Set it perfectly, Cooper Watkins. And Jack O'Sullivan, he's going to eye the sticks. The late out turned in to put this back out to 3 goals on the siren. It's been a comprehensive opening term for the old Zabs.
Got teammates queuing up for a celebration already.
Pretty confident in the young man.
Spends his time at Port Melbourne at VFL level, does Jack O'Sullivan. Just the one game in red and black this season. Got very close to Clark on the mark, but puts it straight over the goal umpire's hat. And Jack O'Sullivan puts his name in the scorebook, and the Zabs are out to a pretty handy 3-goal buffer at the first change. It's 3-2-20. Old Scotch there, just 2 behinds.
Yeah, rightly so, being very confident in him. They are all queued up for the celebration, and rightly so.
Got close to the man on the mark, Carl.
Not the first person
no.
this afternoon, of
This
course.
end's probably the fair end to be doing it, but yeah, good finish there. Probably a little bit lucky with a free kick. He didn't get a great look at it, but Will Clark was not too happy. But yeah, it's a good quarter from the Zabs, and it'd be interesting to see what they have to say at quarter time.
Important to note, we're on Community TV. It is the Vafa William Buck Premier Men's Match of the Day, the doubleheader on KTV. You can keep up to date with everything that's happening in the world of footy at the Herald Sun, both in print and online at heraldsun.com.au. You can also download the Vafa app today. Get the live scores, ladders and upcoming fixtures and all the latest Vafa news right at your fingertips 24/7. Just search Vafa in the App Store. Quarter time here at Camberwell Sports Ground. The Cardinals 2 behinds, the Zabs 3-2. Welcome back to Camberwell Sports Ground. It has been a very fascinating opening term. The Old Zabs, they're 3-2-20. Old Scotch just the two behinds. The goal scorers for the visitors go the way of Charlie McIsaac, Tommy McRae and Jack O'Sullivan, all with singles to this point. But it's worth going around the grounds for Bendigo Bank because we are seeing some really, really fascinating results across the park.
Not Old Trinity again.
Old Trinity. I'm going to start there because the Tees currently lead the University Blacks 4-5-29 to 1-2-8. The Tees, they are out to cause some problems. Of course, the University Blacks, they've had a bit of a difficult start to the year. They're looking for their first win. The Tees are really posing the question. We have no update at the moment from St Kevin's and St Bernard's, but another upset potentially in the billowing. Old Haileybury, 4-2-26, lead Old Brighton, 1-1-7. They've currently been the team to beat, and the only other unbeaten team in Premier Men's is Caulfield Xaverians against the unbeaten University Blues, and the Blues currently lead that one 3-1 to 3-9. Of course, you can tune into every single game of VAFA Premier Men's Showcase round on vafa.com.au. All 5 games are being live streamed right now. Cooper Watkins, you're in the Xaverians huddle,
yes,
if I'm not mistaken, with Dan Donati. What did Nutsy say?
That's it. To be honest with you, first of all, not a lot of win stuff now. I think it's died down a little bit, so that's probably something we can note in the call, that I think it has sort of dropped down a bit. Dan Donati, 2 things, was really happy with the team's pressure.
Yep.
They loved all the inside grunt work that they were doing. 1%ers across the board, contagious is the word he was using. And then he was just loving the work they were doing, ruck work in forward 50. They know how good Will Clark is. They were praising Ed Delaney's work inside the forward 50 to be able to win some tap downs. Wanted to see the same stuff going forward.
Mark Nat's men, they have got to lift a little bit, and immediately from the centre clearance they look to be doing just that. Henry Brown ran underneath the football, then turned tackler. Ball up. It's an opportunity for Old Scotch to make an early statement. Both these teams were so good last year. I mean, Old Scotch, their regular season didn't necessarily jump out the page. Spralia, he's got that big bandage around his head from where he was split right open. Ball went straight into Ganji's hands. Under a bit of pressure, then tried to kick. Ball was smothered by Cormac. He's going to get it back here, and now kicking around is McRae to kick his second. Old Zavs, they have started this second quarter really strongly, and a big warning light comes up here for Old Scotch. They're in trouble.
It's a big warning light. I obviously got to hear the Zabs call and not the Scotch call, so I don't know exactly what they're looking for, but I know that that's not what they were looking for.
Tommy McRae's had a very, very good start to his afternoon.
Sure has. The St Kilda City Junior has now got 2 goals this afternoon.
I think another thing I was going to say, Cal, too, obviously you referenced Fisher and Stavron not playing. Very clear voices in the huddle at quarter time. They're talking to the mids, talking to the forwards, so that's clearly an advantage they're going to have, even though they're not out in the park today.
Zabs with the first 4 goals of this contest, really making a statement at this point. Cormac, defensive side of centre, had to go back to go forward. Handball to skew with, I should say. Ganji goes in and applies a really nice tackle at centre half forward. And the pressure is really, really starting to mount early doors here for Mark Nat's men. Ball up once again, this time around Spralia with the big tape around the forehead. Couldn't quite get the ball away. Handball the way of Jackson. He feeds it over the top. Just didn't quite want the footy there, did Townsend, so he opted to palm it over the top. Once again, the Cardinals have numbers on the outside. Barring, what can he make of this? He drives it long towards the top of the goal square, trying to get low there was Will Clark. Couldn't quite take the mark in the end. Tregar was watching it closely, and amongst it there, Woodhouse, upended, done. Just thumps the ball out of there, drives it up towards the wing, and taking it down low, a slip scratch, if you will, for Ryan Walsh. That's a really nice take.
Well, looked like Steve Smith at third, just dived to the left, both hands, very good mark. Ball to the middle of the ground, Ferguson flew, couldn't mark, now Zabs, they have the outlet. Ralph Hamble didn't get to him, and ball didn't sit for him, but it works out eventually. Guiney goes up the line, taking back position there was Duncan. Ball gets out the back, picked up by Cormac, who's trying to weave a passage through. That's some real good work in tight space on the boundary line. Eventually it's whacked over for a ball in.
Cope, what do you expect now from Old Scotch? Because they are clearly under the pump at this point of the game.
I mean, I think it's clear that they're going to have to change a few things up. I think there's just a bit of effort stuff too. Like, as I said, Zabs were really happy with their 1% and stuff. You probably haven't seen as much of that from the Old Scotch, so they probably just need some of their better players to lift a bit.
And lift they're starting to do. Frenetic's the option down the line. He's got a very strong body. Unfortunately, the ball was just out of grasp. He did all the body work. And Trigger walks right over. We saw something very similar to that get paid in the exact same spot in the 19s game. I thought maybe for a moment the umpire was going to be hot on it, but it is a ball in at half forward here. Old Scotch in a position of promise right now. An opportunity might arise. Very clean gather and spin. Now kick goes inside the 450. Frenetic 1-2. Trigger. Bang, bang. He pulls the trigger and fists it over the boundary line.
Old Scotch faithful weren't too happy with that one, wanted a free kick. I probably agree with them.
He was manhandled.
Yeah.
Tough man to stop one-on-one, though. He's an absolute freak.
He's playing out the cage at the moment.
Trigger's a great mullet, just FYI.
Brought back in place. Spralia is going to grab that ball completely uncontested. Leighton swings it around the body. Whistle. Free kick. No questions. The Scotchies might have a look at their first for the game. It's going to be Bailey Burrows, who wasn't in the team sheet. It was one of those late changes yesterday.
The old late change.
But he's out there now, and he might be able to put through there first.
You've got to keep your superstars hidden.
Of the afternoon, absolutely. Bailey Burrows then, right in front of the Scotch crowd, right beneath us here. And that one's going to go through.
Oh, no.
He's pushed it out to the right.
Oh, I've absolutely mozzed him.
A golden chance. Gone begging for the Cardinals. They move to 0-3 as Goss resumes hostilities.
And, well, that's an incredible chance gone begging for Old Scotch. Now the Zavs are on the press. I mean, this has just not been a goal kicking in today whatsoever. Charlie Knott, short chip kick. And now they've got an opportunity here on the outer wing. The funnel is Lane, and he has just put a boot into that, some 55 metres. There's a few options further afield. They work in the coalface. A few of the Zaz boys. Ganji goes back inside. Spralia, great set of hands. Fire it through again. Now it's with Mick Isaac, who is burrowed into, and we'll have a ball up. How fast were those hands? 1-2, 1-2, smack. Contest. Very good football this from Old Zabs. And you think about the players they're missing and what they're doing right now as this kick goes inside 50 and it'll get to the back and over the boundary line. They're missing the best player in the comp.
Yeah, they are. And not the best player in the comp, probably two of the top five, to be honest, with both Fisher and Stavro. But they're making absolute amends, and they're going to be without those guys. Obviously, they were without them for the final series, and it really, really did hurt them. You could sort of tell that. But the Xaverians, they're, of course, dominating in reserves level, so there's a lot of depth to that footy club.
Ball brought back in. A bit of pressure around this contest. Plenty of numbers around the football right now. The Zabs, eventually the ball's going to come out. And they fan it wider. Max Scott wasn't able to hit a teammate with the handball, and it'll be a ball in.
And it's meant that guys, like we've seen Tommy McRae kick 2 goals already today, but he has had a lot of the ball in the middle of the ground. And it just means that those guys who wouldn't have otherwise had that opportunity can really, really prove themselves at the top level. 6.5 goal then. Second term for Salter Brothers. Ball brought back into play. There is a whistle and a free kick's been found. It's going the way of the Zavs. I think it's going to be Oscar Duncan to receive the free kick. A little bit of ruck lotto, perhaps. It's pretty prolific last year in the reserves. Oscar Duncan just couldn't get into the team with Alex Spralia at the top. They've now found room for the both of them. 25 goals last year in the reserves for Oscar Duncan. He was the number one ruck last week, of course. He had 39 hitouts of his own, 16 possessions, and 8 intercepts with the ability to go back behind the ball. He's been thrown forward this time around. This for 5 consecutive goals for the Old Xaverians to start the contest here. Oscar Duncan on the runway. A nice, calm, steady approach in no rush whatsoever. He's the big fella. Strikes from 25. That looks pretty good. It ended up hugging the post, but it's gone through nonetheless. They all count the same. The Zavs lead it by 29 points at Camberwell Sports Ground. 0-3-3 the Cardinals to 5-2-32.
Feels like we're in the process of a flogging at the moment, the way it's heading.
Oh, they've got to lift the Cardinals. They're doing. It's a funny one. They're not doing too much wrong, but the Zavs have just been doing a lot right at the end of the day. The pressure's been good. They've had a few free kicks inside forward 50, but that's through effort. So they've got you wouldn't be surprised if there's some magnets that get thrown around shortly because they're going to have to change something soon.
Regardless, you can't win games of footy when you're missing 10 metres out.
Well, that's it, Cal. That's it. That would have been handy.
I understand Aiden Frenetic. He's just come into the side, but maybe move him on the ball. Get him up around it. Get one of your big ball-winning mids. That's a very good goal. Well, I'll stop talking. McMillan has put it through. And Old Scotch have their first finally.
And you see the difference there with Spralia. That Spralia's not in the ruck there, and that's just an easy hit out down to advantage. And then that's pretty simple footy at the end. Just clearance, crummer, goal.
I still think I'd like to see Aiden Frenetic just 2-minute burst in the middle of the ground, just get him around. He's such a good contest player. He's so strong.
A bit frenetic in there.
Well,
quite literally. Yeah.
That's true, but he's such a strong stoppage player, and he's got so much strength. Just get him around there. Will Clark put it down his direction, might be able to muscle his way through and get him a clearance to get him going forward.
Interesting if Clark can get him going again here. 2 in a row would be big.
Such an important goal that for Old Scotch. Clark in the ruck this time around, couldn't quite win the ball forward. Duncan was getting offensive side. Brown raised his hands, got a handball away. Picked up here by Dunn, who was trying to emerge his way with the football. Connor Dunn has not missed a Prem game since his debut in round 9 last year. And the Scotchies are going to try and come back through the corridor. Intended target there was Lean. Couldn't quite get his hands to it. But there's numbers here that favour the boys in red, blue, gold. Nice kick out towards Scott on the wing. Caresses that ball towards McMillan, the goal scorer. He kicks it towards the pocket and Clark's got loose.
Just outspreading him on that occasion.
They heard me. They've lifted.
Well, they wanted this man into the contest, big Will Clark.
He'll kick this.
He's gone early, Cale, and I don't mind it. It's not beyond him.
No, he'll kick it.
He doesn't look confident.
No, he's throwing the grass up in the air. This whole place will erupt. He'll kick this, I'm telling you.
3 last week, 2 in last year's grand final, 3 goals when they last met in the prelim. Will Clark. This would be right from the top shelf. He strikes. Will Clark, you star. A team lifter from the top shelf. Will Clark brings the margin back to just 17.
Get that on the socials, ladies and gents. Get that on the socials. That is one of the best finishes you will ever see from a ruckman. He is he's playing out of this world football right now. I don't think people
know how difficult that kick is, and from someone that is that big and that tall.
And we've mentioned a couple of times, this is not the end to be scoring.
No, it's not.
The breeze in the 19s, and we've seen in this first quarter of this seniors game, it is all going down to the right of screen, that far end of the ground from where we are. That is an impossibly good kick from Will Clark.
I don't know. I had a feeling he was going back. I thought, there's no way he misses this. He senses the moment. And he's trying to do it again in the middle of the ground, trying to turn tackler. Great kick forward from Holmes. Got it up towards half forward. And a free kick, Mark. Don't know. Cormac, he wants it. No, it's going back. It'll end up being with Dixon, who has the football. So Dixon a half back for Scotch. They spread it wide. Barter on the lead. Great mark.
Just trying to spread a bit more now, Old Scotch. You can see they're using their feet well. They're going wide, stretching him out. And then on that occasion with that goal, that was all Clark just spreading and beating his man.
Cormac now has it. Goes back over the top. McMillan, who was the first goal scorer for Scotch. They've moved it slowly to this point. They find themselves at centre wing. Now the big reel and go, and the intended target is the big man, and he has taken a great Clark. He plays on. If he kicks this, it'll bring the house down. Whoa, touched on the line. Oh, Will Clark. Thomas Hart has done very well to get a hand on that. That would have genuinely brought the house down. Ruckman should not do that.
That was crazy too, because Tom Hart looked like he hyperextended his knee on that occasion there too, but he seemed to have come up okay.
Kick goes out towards half-back. Couldn't quite gather it cleanly. Numbers there favour the Zavs. Holmes did really well just to balk and then send it out towards the wing. Delaney fed it on the inside, and now they're away. Look at the space that they've got, the old Xaverians. Brosnahan marks at half-forward, plays on quickly, goal square bound. Nice football that from the Zavs. Just coast to coast. Dare I say breezy. And they find themselves up at full forward.
Breezy, I like that one, Cal. I do like that one.
It's Jack O'Sullivan who's got it at the top of the goal square. This one shouldn't have any problems like he did at the quarter-time siren. As Old Scotch, they'd picked up a couple in quick-fire time. It's with 13 minutes gone in this second term for Salter Brothers. Jack O'Sullivan, 15 out, slide angle, no problems, puts that one through. The margin, just like that, is back out to 22. He's kicked his second.
Yeah, and immediately the energy that Will Clark had injected into the place for 90 seconds
I was going to say,
has dissipated pretty quickly.
Crowd was pretty flat after that one, but that just shows Clark. That's a sort of 12-point turnaround, really, because that could have been a big goal, and then it's back to within a couple goals, but now it's back out again to 28 points.
Might as well go around the grounds for Bendigo Bank. Unbelievable what we're seeing out at the University Oval. The Tees, Old Trinity, are 39 points in front of the University Blacks. They are really making a statement. The Tunners are fighting their way back against Old Haileybury. An absolute belter going on out at Caulfield. 39-41, the Blues by just 2 points.
Old Trinity have taken promotion with both hands, and they are running away with it at the moment. That is incredible. Spralia in the middle of the deck. He just goes wide. Kick in hope, I suggest. Brunson Arbour's the one who was there going back with it. That's a dangerous sort of a kick. Hansen put under the pump. Now Spralia just pumps it in. High up and under football. McIsaac Rose. Who's taking a mark over the back?
Delaney?
That is a screamer. Just waiting for...
Sure is. Yeah, it's Delaney.
Looks like
Well, Delaney. He has taken an absolute pearler of a mark over the top. A mark of the day contender. Thanks to Gorman Commercial. And he's a genuine clunk. And this is a genuine kick. Now, we know the windiness here. We know what it can do. Can Delaney put it through? Stutter step. Penetrating kick. Umpire doesn't move. That end of the ground's been dishing up some of the best finishes you'll see in the VAFA all day. And Delaney slotted it. And Old Zabs have just flexed their muscles right back.
He loved it immediately too.
A couple of goal contenders there between Clark and Delaney for Marshall White. That was an absolute strike, and as you guys were saying, just the energy that Will Clark and McMillan were able to bring to Old Scotch, just like that, the margin's back out to 28.
Yeah, just like that, and that's the thing, like that Clark goal goes through, you never know what's going to happen. They've got the momentum going up against the wind, but the crowd's up and about, and they've quickly silenced them. That's what good teams do.
8-2-50 are the Zabs. They lead things 2-4-16 against the Old Scotch Cardinals. Handball was good enough on that occasion there from Bobby Knott. He feeds it out towards the wing. It's a nice ball just cutting back inside. And Spralia was completely left unattended. He drives it into the attacking zone. Not a great ball. It's going to be coming back. Mark taken there by Freddie Leighton in game 50. He kicks it out towards the wing. It's an absolute beauty by foot. And Old Scotch trying to make something of this. Kick goes up towards half forward. Intended target there was long, but Hart did well enough. Has a little bit of after. I think it's come off the foot.
If they go, it's a Scotch free kick. If they go quick, Will Clark is unmarked.
But Hart's getting back now. Yeah, I think it might have actually come off the foot there of Tommy Hart.
I mean, I'd still go his way. He's got a clear height. He's about to get mobile, the big man.
Not quite getting around. Long drives it towards centre forward. Clark almost got around to it in the end. Lovely this little side step. Snap goes goal and needs a miracle bounce. The bounce actually worked out all right. It's gone out for a boundary throw in deep inside the forward pocket here for the Cards.
You're probably happy with that if you're the Cards. You get the big fella inside forward 50 can do whatever he wants in that.
Interesting quarter this one. 2 goals the way of the Zabs. Responded by 2 from Old Scotch and another 2 the way of the visitors. The margin currently stands at 28. Ball tossed back into play. Going up and going to get it there was Trigar. Nothing quite doing. I correct myself. It's actually 34 points. I've missed a goal on my notes to look up the scoreboard. It's 50 plays 16. 34 it is. Spralia up. Did well enough to win that ball down. Barter's on the outside. Chrysler in the back, and the off-duty umpires found that one. And it will be a free kick. You saw it, Carpenuto.
Well, this man...
You've been calling for him to get in the action as well, Aiden Frenetic.
He's an impact player. And this is a big opportunity for him to put one right through the middle. Then playing out of the goal square. He's such a damaging, impactful player. High tackler. Always very high volume of tackles, high volume of disposals. Can impact the scoreboard. He's a very, very good footballer. And this is a kick that they need right now. 34 points down. Hayden Frenetic has struck it pretty well. Has struck it very well. Welcome back, Hayden Frenetic. That is a very good goal. 28-point game now. 3-4-22 to 8-2-50. They very much needed that 18-gone second term.
Yeah, it's just a settler for the Cards. They needed that. Sort of one of those free kicks could go either way. Probably could have paid holding the ball, but kept going. Then was a bit overzealous, but they'll take it. Clark now sitting right in the square, so he'd be happy with that matchup if they can win it out of the middle.
They burst from this stoppage and they find him disjointed.
Problem is with that though, Carl, is then it's Spralia against the backup ruckman, so see what happens, which Spralia wins it straight back down.
No surprises. Ferguson actually stole the ball straight back. It's going inside the attacking zone, but it's coming straight back. Guiney, nice intercept mark. He kicks. Clark got across. Still making impact even when they're without the ball. Clark, long to the goal square. What can they do here? Done. Did the team thing. Ended up just going and punching the ball away. But right beneath us, we get a boundary throw in.
When were Ruckman given the licence to take it intercept mark?
I think he's got whatever
play
licence he
on,
wants,
sprint round and just try to whack it from 55 out. It's unbelievable.
3-4, plays 8-2 then. All right, Clark's just taking over wherever he can. He's in the ruck duties in the attacking 50 here for the Cards. Drop short, Sprawl out, tried to find McRae by hand, couldn't quite do so. Clark dangerous as ever. Brown, head over the football. And the umpire calls for it. We're only about 15, 20 metres away from the Scotchies' goal. Big slap, Clark trying to be aggressive. Brosnahan overran the football. Nice tackle laid there by Barrings. Ball spills loose. Comes out the way of Hanson, who has to get rid of it quickly and did. Up towards half-back. And McIsaac's had to come up a long way to get his hands on it.
Well, Charlie Buckets. He's got hands like vices. He just takes everything. That's a tight roping the boundary. It stayed in. It's a good mark. It's pushed very high up the ground, Charlie McIsaac. He's trying to get involved. He has kicked the one, but he's been relatively quiet since the opening stages of the opening term. Ransonar's kick was very good. Goss went very long. McIsaac back with a flight. Couldn't mark it. Fisted over the boundary line and into the pavilion with all the spectators. We passed the 20-minute mark here of the second term. Old Zabs lead it by 28. If you're just joining us, it was a very good start for them. They got underway in the opening term, kicking a couple of goals, just a couple of behinds for Old Scotch, and they've very much furthered that along in this second term. So, ball back up again. Goss tried to hack it out of midair. Dangerous sort of a spot. Kick out of midair. It's going to be a goal. There's a couple of appeals to touches. No, it's given a goal. So Jack O'Sullivan has kicked a third for the afternoon. He's having a very, very good game. And I think I've got a few guesses of why he was laid in, because he is absolutely performing the house down.
Yeah, it was a good goal there, and they just keep extending the lead. They're taking a few punches, and then they're just punching right back the Zabs. So
it's a heavyweight fight between two of the biggest teams in the Premier Men's, and at the moment, Old Zabs, I mean, they were 15-3 last year. They by far, if you remove Old Brighton obviously won the thing, but they were by far a big gap between the best two teams and the rest. It was like 1-2.
It did look like they were
3-4.
it looked like they were the genuine contenders to Old Brighton, and then of course Old Scotch got on that unbelievable run, coming from 6 and 9 to get themselves into a grand final. Unfortunately, falling short on that final Friday. In the end, done. Now goes over and tries to win the football himself. Couldn't quite do so. Caldwell locks horns with him.
What does he say about Old Trinity?
Yeah.
They're absolutely motoring at the moment.
They could be at 2-1. Of course, the winner of this game will also move to 2-1. The Cards, they currently sit third on the live ladder, but it goes long. Clark, the target, one piece. Couldn't quite get the second. Really well done there by Woodhouse, last line defence. Handballs it back inside, and Goss away in a flash. Sends it out towards half-back. That was really slick.
What a mark.
Diving in over the top. Cormac, that was sensational. Mark that a contender for Gorman Commercial, taking that really low. Cormac up to Clark. Not quite. Couldn't quite get it there. Sprawl out. Won the ball down. A little dribble kick, not going forward enough. Lane drives it out towards the wing. Asked a little bit of Holmes. Did well. In fact, it's O'Sullivan who looks to send him forward.
Well, Jackie boy's having a very good game. Now Garnji goes inside 50, lace out. Went through the hands of Duncan. And they fight in and underneath. Umpires let it roll.
Great spoil by Nancaro. That should have been an easy lead-up forward kick, but got there at the last second.
How about back here in the goal squares? Some's getting charged out by Will Clark. I probably would blink and flinch. Ball in dispute.
Well, I can tell you, Carl, I wouldn't be happy with a teammate that sold me under the river with
no,
that one.
I'd be having a word
in
the half-time break about that. That is a precarious situation to be in. Free kick, holding, and it's going the way of old Zavs. Oh, no, umpire's pointed the wrong way again.
Pointed the wrong.
It's a couple of times that's happened. It's not fun. Clark flew, Spralia, big collision. Bodies went crashing and over the boundary line for a ball in. 23 and a half minutes gone. Interchanges being made. Old Scotch need to start to move the needle a little bit here. They're just struggling to keep touch with old Zavs at the moment, who are looking the stronger. So Spralia doing the ruck duties once again against Ferguson, who's the backup ruck for old Scotch. And still in congestion, we will have a ball up right on the point of the square. They'll do it all again. It's like rinse repeat at the moment. Bit of stoppage football. Trying to win it, Hansen. Then fired the handball backwards. Holmes. Kick goes inside, forward 50. He's got a couple of targets up there. Duncan manhandled. Umpire said play on. He's going to kick a fourth, is he? Oh, Jack O'Sullivan, a flying shot at goal. And they're appealing for a goal here.
There's a few down too.
And there's a player down in the square. They were appealing for a goal. They're saying he didn't touch it. Yeah. Jack O'Sullivan's pleading his case with the umpire.
Point.
I'm trying to see who's down in the square at the moment. It's
number 7,
Quinn Spencer, who's down. He's very sore. Sort of around that ankle leg. Maybe he's whacked into the goalpost. That he's just trying to walk it off now. He's walking a lot better than what he was about 30 seconds ago.
Scotch then bring the ball back into play. Long kick goes out wide. Between Delaney and McIsaac, neither of them really wanted it. Just opted to go by fist. And we get a ball up. Neutral territory, centre wing. We've played 24 and a half in the second term for Salter Brothers. The Zavs have had complete control of this contest. They lead at 9-3-57 to 3-4-22. A series of handballs chain goes forward towards Ganji, who strikes from 50. Ganji, a nice effort, but misses just to the near side, ever so slightly.
The Zavs pocket down there, thought that was going through for a while.
Don't start naming stuff the Zavs pocket at Campbell Sports Ground.
It's the only where the noise is coming
That's
from.
true. That's one of the last things you want to do with this venue. But there have been some miracle goals kicked all day at that
They'll
pocket.
chase you out with a pitchfork, Cooper
down.
Watkins. If you want to wear the hoodie walking out of this place, great kick, Ollie Batter, and he's just going to move it on quickly. They've got a paddock in the middle of the ground. Kick was not that good, unfortunately. And Trigger, the flying mullet, flowing along half-back. Ball ends up here on the outer wing. What a fist. Great rise, Townsend. Fisted it over the line.
Is that a great game, Trigger? He's mopped up a few times.
A flying mullet.
Yeah,
look him go.
I like it. I'm on board.
Oh, I'm a big fan of it. Makes him easily recognisable.
Yeah, true. That'd be helpful for you.
It's like, I sometimes see a lot. You get players that look identical and they
have the same first and last name, just things like that.
Well, that last game, obviously, two players with the exact same name. And as this ball goes forward, we'll get back to this in a second. Little handball backwards from Barring. Kick goes inside the forward 50. Trigger cuts it off. It's coming straight back, though. One would suspect. A great intercept mark there by Townsend, who's had a
one-on-one again.
He's going to drill it inside 50. Clark, both hands to it. Probably could have relaxed his hands a little bit more. That dump kick out of defence from Dunn. And it's put in a
look for him again.
Well, he's just pointing to the spot. They're saying, where do you want it, Will? No, now he's pointing towards the goals.
Doing a lot of running in circles.
Clark's... He's saying, all right, I'm still here. And look, they're opening up the pocket of space for him to run into. Regardless, this is a big shot here for old Scotch. 27 gone. Second quarter. Kick goes a little bit wide. Clark's going to have a big run and jump from it from about 5 deep. Well done, Delaney. Kicked a goal in this game and now takes a very, very good intercept mark. And they will take the tempo right out of this and just go long.
Delaney then drives it out towards the back flank. Nancaro, good fly. Couldn't quite bring it down. Amongst it there was Conadun, speeding out towards the wing. McIsaac was getting goal side, couldn't quite do so. Ball's trapped here on the wing. Handball goes forward. Nice ball at that too. McMillan then goes inside. A little bump on the kick was good enough. Delaney marks, gathers and goes.
Delaney?
There is nothing quite appealing on the wing. Only had one target and found him. It was Wade Brosnahan, who's parked himself defensive side of the wing. And then this expected stalemate. Just nothing really down the line, so he has to retreat some territory to Goss on the back of 33 possessions last week. He goes back to Trigger. And then Walford And then switching things all the way around the far side of the ground. Ralph carefully inside towards Tommy Hart. Nothing really at the first time of asking, so Trigger's going to get the ball again. Goss next in the chain. Switching things up once again. One switch and then the next and then the next. Hamish McIsaac kicks it over the top. Didn't let that ball go out of play. The Cardinals look to make something of this. Leighton in towards the middle of the ground. Good build pick up there from Simons. Feeds it on, then kicks it long. It's a poor kick in the end. There was just no real intention on that ball, and Tommy Hart takes one of the easiest intercept marks of his life.
Had to lower the eyes there. Had people about 40 metres out from goal. Could have just chipped it over the top. They could have run into the goals. All right, a set shot. Fortunately, it breaks down there for Old Scotch, but better build up from them. Ralph. Short and wide. Tempo right out of this now. Walford in the back pocket. Now they're signalling for the switch out the other side. They're going to commit to this side though. Little short ball. Let's have a look here now. Brosnahan. He looks back in Trigger's direction. Instead, they're just going to play the line. Kick cut off. Now in congestion, well tackled. It was not who had the football. And here goes Scotch. They're streaming back the other way. They don't have much to kick to forward. It's all Zavs except Will Clark. Handball over the top's a good one. McMillan able to be evasive. Kick towards the top of the 50 in the Clark direction. He did all the body work. He had both hands to it. For the ball. Goal coming up. Old Scotch have finally found a response. And it's come courtesy of Cooper Lean, who has kicked it. 28 plays 58, 29 and a half gone here second term. And that is with thanks to the Celta brothers. I'm having a nightmare at the moment. And a 30-point margin as we're about to tick over the 30-minute mark here and toward half-time.
And that goal there is your classic. That does not go under Clark's name as a goal, but that was all Will Clark.
Yep.
Brings it to ground, 3-on-1, straight down to your Crummer goal.
I reckon he's hurt his hand or something in that contest. I've seen him grab it a few times since, a few of his fingers or something. Big whack.
Cooper Lane's first goal of the season has been thrown into the middle as a little bit of a reward for his effort. Can the Cardinals find another one right on the stroke of half-time? We're well into the 30s now of this second term for Celta Brothers. There's about 10 players just surrounding this contest, and the umpire's going to be called in to sort this one out.
It's been an interesting move with Clark forward because obviously you lose a bit of that around the middle, but God, he's been impactful forward.
Spralia wins the ball out the middle and just gains about 15 to 20 metres of territory. O'Sullivan, slick as ever, onto McIsaac, snaps it across and has bet that one home. Straight away they bite back the Zavs. The margin's back out to 6 goals just like that. They move to 10-4-64 on the back of Charlie's second.
He kicks goals for fun, that bloke.
I think a few Zavs fans have seen that one before. That's happened a few times. Just easy as you like. He was never missing that.
10-4 plays 4-4. The Zavs, well, they've really been holding it around this 4 to 5 goal margin now. 6 goals, really since quarter time.
How old's Charlie, do we know? Do we have an exact number?
He'd be mid-20s.
I'm saying, look, there's a high possibility he's going to be playing VFL football at some point, right? It'd be reasonable not to. Kicked over 50 goals last year. He's perennially one of the best key forwards in the Premier Men's competition.
Nancaro been thrown into the ruck now with Clark obviously playing forward. They want to keep that but try and win it out of the middle a bit more. Spralia doing well.
Well, he's got a good leap on him because he competed with Spralia. That's McIsaac running out of the ruck rover position. Well, what can't he do? Kick forward from him, goes inside 50, and Brosnahan has done all the work and taken the mark. I was going to say on Charlie McIsaac, just as I pump his case to maybe play VFL at some point, I'd love to know the record for most goals scored in the Premier Men's over a career, because I reckon if he does somehow not play VFL, he'd be a massive chance of shattering it. He'll kick 60 every year until whenever he wants to retire.
Well, it's 212 goals he's kicked in total, Charlie, but nonetheless, Brosnahan a shot here.
And it's a big kick. This would be very deflating for Old Scotch right on the half-time siren. Siren has gone. Brosnahan has the kick. 45 out. Umpire shuffles. Dancing. Minor scores. So it breaks the even run of goals. We are at 10-5 playing 4-4-28 as they go into half-time. A game that's starting to get away from Old Scotch a little bit, Cal.
Yep, a new game-high margin it is at half-time. 37 points it is. The leaders are the old Xaverians. 10-5-65, plays 4-4-28. Cooper Watkins, you're on specials thanks to Hit IQ. What have you made of it so far?
Yeah, it's been a really interesting game. Obviously, the wind really hasn't played that much of a part other than maybe a couple of the Zavs set shots from deep in that term. But they've just been the better team, really. They've done a lot of the one-percenters right. And as Natty's getting him in at the moment, Old Scotch, before they head down. But Old Scotch just really haven't done a lot right. I like Will Clark in the forward line in that quarter there. That might be something that they look at going into the second half. But at the same time, Spraley has then put his dominance in the midfield as a ruckman against some of the smaller blokes. So we'll see what happens in the second half. I think there'll be some magnets that get moved around for Old Scotch, and we'll see a more competitive second half, I would have thought.
Just going around the grounds for Bendigo Bank, owned by the local community and delivering all your personal and business banking needs. Profits go back into the community, including Old Scotch's electronic scoreboard and the goal nets. Let's start with Caulfield and University Blues. It is a 15-point lead for the Blues. They lead it against Caulfield, 54-39 out there at Glen Huntly Park. Just a 9-point game between Old Haileybury and Old Brighton. The Bloods leading that one by 9 points. We are still yet to receive an update on St Kevin's St Berners, but of course at halftime, if you're sick of hearing us, you can go to VAFA's website, vafa.com.au. All 5 games being live streamed in Premier Men's Showcase round. You can go tune in to that one. And what is clearly proving to be what is really an upset, if you will, Old Trinity coming up from Premier B. They are making their case and they are making their position in VAFA's top flight known. 40 points in front of the T's of the University Blacks. 23 plays 63 out there at the Melbourne Uni Oval. Of course, here it is a pretty comfortable 37-point lead to the old Xaverians. We'll take a short pause before we pick up hostilities again. The halftime show coming up for Wagstaff. Welcome back to Camberwell Sports Ground. We're picking up the second half in just a moment. Little halftime show here for Wagstaff, Australian-owned and operated family business that's supplied quality meats both here and abroad since 1908. Head to wagstaff.com.au. It is halftime. As we say, it's a 37-point buffer that the old Xaverians currently hold over Old Scotch. 10-5-65 to 4-4-28. The goal scorer was to this point. 3 the way of Jack O'Sullivan, a brace for each of McIsaac and McRae, and singles to Delaney and Duncan. And there's one that I've missed from the old Zavs. We'll try our best to work out where that one went. But nonetheless, there's 4 goal scorers. They're all singles for the Cardinals. It's the way of Lean, Frenetic, Clark and McMillan. Cooper Watkins, John Special, thanks to Hit IQ. What have you made of the first half? Because the Zavs, they did a lot right.
Yeah, they did do a lot right. I think it's going to be interesting to see how Old Scotch respond. They're a veteran team that are not going to respond well to a beating like that in the first half. I expect a lot of changes. I think the most interesting part of this game is where Will Clark lines up to start this second half. Does he continue to play forward? He was a spark for them in that second quarter, but they weren't able to continue that, or is he going to play ruck?
And I think you're right. He might be playing a little bit injured because he spent a lot of that time playing as the key forward, and it left them really vulnerable in the middle of the ground. Cal Pinedo, you are the play-by-play caller alongside me. Actually, just reminds me to finish up the Around the Grounds with the St Kevin's St Bernard's game that we didn't have an update on. I was able to go to our VAFA Mega Wall, of course, VAFA Showcase round to go have a look what's happening there. St Kevin's are 3 goals in front at halftime of St Bernard's, 45-27 out there at Scobland. Of course, here there has been actually a scoreboard correction, which would probably correct why I had 9 goals on my sheet, and that mystery goal, I was wondering where it was before. The goal's been taken off the old Xaverians. It's 9-5-59 to 4-4-28, a 31-point game at half-time. Cal Pinedo, let's get the action underway.
Clark playing forward as well, just noted.
It's a very interesting one. You've got the best ruckman in the competition by some space, and he's gone straight to
like Max
full
Gorn
forward.
for Melbourne at the moment, Cal.
Yes.
Well, he's there at the moment, and it'll be Ferguson who will be the replacement. I was going to say 9 goals instead of 10. Cal doesn't make errors, so...
Yeah, we knew there was something wrong.
Ball will be raised here and bounced, or thrown up rather, to start the third quarter. Ferguson actually won the tap. The umpire's taken a tumble.
Oh, straight on top of him too.
He's got straight in the contest. He wants a disposal himself. Far out. That's one to start off the third quarter.
Everyone's up and about.
Ferguson and Spralia with a big headband on. Copped a knock in the first quarter and cut his head open. That's why he's wearing the big bandage if you're just joining us. Had a couple of blood rules in the first term. So a bit of congestion to start. Spralia just took possession. Little feeding handball. Cormac put a boot to it. Probably the wrong way if you're a Scotch fan. Now they work this out. Screwy little ball from Max Scott might well work out. It's well cut off, and here they go, the Zavs. Kicking towards the pocket. Very great hands from Jack O'Sullivan, who's kicked 3, and he pleaded his case for a 4th late in that second term, but unfortunately it was ruled to be touched. He's set on by the umpire, kicked to a dangerous hot spot. Ball finds its way to the deck. Scotch having to defend with their lives. Spencer nearly missed his hand with a handball.
Trouble.
That is trouble. Ball up,
Jeez.
says the umpire. And a little contingency of Zavs fans were very, very hot on that.
Got sold down the river with the handball, but you could have probably paid that.
Well, it's an opportunity in a dangerous spot for the Zavs. Bit of body work. Missing the foot there, Delaney. And trying to extract it off the ground. The umpire lets it roll. Cormac, tumble. Ball up.
Playing just 5 metres out from the Zavs goal. The margin's at 31. 9-5 plays 4-4. Delaney in the ruck, just grabbed it. Boot to it, smothered. Barter went and got it. Handball's out towards Cormac, who right along the boundary line just gains about 30 or so metres. Goss went diving in, no hands to it. Amongst it there for the Cards was Walsh. He had his handball upended. McRae has to go on and tackle, and a little hand in there from Hanson. Probably regretting that. He's come off second best.
Really like Delaney's presence in this game. Even just then, that kick inside forward 50 actually wasn't to his advantage, but it was a really good lead, and he's just been in and amongst it, especially in the ruck as a forward.
He's absolutely everywhere last week, Sammy Hanson. To the 17 possessions, but 11 of them were contested. 9 clearances to go along with 8 tackles. And Dan Donati named him among the better players on the day. Well on there by Spraley out to win the ball forward. Brown just lays into McRae. Handball comes forward. Well on there by Dunn. Muscles it up towards half forward. Brosnahan was in there on 2-1. Delaney snaps across. It's going to land shallow. Taken there by Dixon. And his kick's a really wobbly one. Asked a lot of questions there of Ferguson, but he did well enough to mark the footy.
So Ferguson going to transition wider, hugging the boundary. And it gets over the back. A few Zavs players there to try to possess it. Here they go now, Scotch. Simons, who's going to send it forward just to a paddock of space. The foot race is there to be won. Little gather, very clean there from Jackson. Immediately tackled. Ball up. Now,
they really need the first hit to Old Scotch.
They really do. I mean,
yeah.
A game that's been so well in hand from the first bounce for Old Zavs. It was a slow start for either side. Spraley took possession. Tried to sort of kick it off the ground in the end and gained about 2 metres. Now Scotch in over the top of it. It's coming back the other way now. And now it's going back in the direction, a bit of a torp. It's going to go all the way. Took a horrendous bounce and threw for a minor score. So they get the first score on the board here to start the third. That cuts the margin to an even straight 5 kicks. 95-59, 4-5-29.
Again, just feeling each other out in this first term of the second half here. Just trying to see what they want to do, moving off half-back here.
Hanson to Goni. It was a nice kick out towards the wing, and they can just play on their own terms at the moment near the old Xaverians. A nice, careful ball. Good that found Woodhouse. He's kicked 6 goals across the last 2 meetings he's played against Old Scotch, and that's a lovely kick to the leading lane of Ed Delaney.
He looks confident.
Yeah, this is absolutely in his repertoire, Ed Delaney. He has got a thumping boot on him. He's played 8 games at VFL level in his career. 5 with the Blues, 3 with the Pies.
Interesting mix.
Not many can say they've played for those two. Ed Delaney from 45. That won't score. Ask a bit of Brosnahan or Dunn. Neither got a clean hand to it. Comes out towards the back, courtesy of Nankaro and then Ferguson, who thumps it out, but trouble beckons. It's coming straight back in. McRae's amongst it, as is Brosnahan. Beats them all. The Cardinals defence trying to work in numbers. Handball goes over the top. Scott has to go get it. Lovely balk. Scott, that was so calm. And he found Clark.
Oh, the old razzle-dazzle and then lace out. Clark back inside Barter. Ollie's had plenty of the football today. Oh, not his best kicks. Asked a lot of a teammate. McMillan had to then go back and win it. Here they go, though, Scotch. Simon stood up strong in the tackle. Fed the handball forward. Barter now with Brown. Brown has a look at the sticks, and Brown has kicked the goal.
Big.
And that is one of the best passages of play you'll probably see today, and it all started with a bit of razzle-dazzle here at halfback.
Yeah, there's not really a lot of method to the madness. They're obviously trying to go as wide as possible, and I mean, when you miss some foot skills like that, sometimes it turns into a turnover, sometimes it turns into a bit of mess that can work out for you, especially when you got the wind going that way, so they needed that one.
Yeah, Henry Brown prolific last week, as we said, 28 possessions, a goal, 9 inside 50s. He's been named in the best, according to Mark Nat, both occasions. He's now got 1 goal in each of the first 3 games to start 2026. The margin cut to 24 then. We've been playing between this 4 and 5 goal margin since 30 seconds into the second term. The Zavs have been breathing rather comfortably. Lovely done there by Hanson to go forward by hand, and then Brosnahan marks about 30 out directly in front.
It was Ralph who kicked that. He's a very, very good user from that defensive side of the ground, but just working through the back of the stoppage. Great kick.
Last week, broke a 9-game streak in which Wade Brosnahan had kicked goals. 13 possessions. Just couldn't quite find himself on the scoreboard. Kicked 24 goals in all last year. Kicked 2 in round 1. Goalless last week. This to put the margin back out to that comfortable 5-goal buffer. No angle to speak of. He's 30 out directly in front. That's going left and only left. And the goal umpire watches it sail through for a behind. They move to a 25-point lead. 60 plays 35.
So from the kick-in, it's Townsend, one of the vice-captains. There's a number of them for Old Scotch. They've got 3 vice-captains who anchor Charlie Cormack. Ball's on the wing here, and Zavs have won it back. Ball is going to go up towards half-forward. Bruz, their hand from the back, not able to mark. Instead, it's cut off in front of him. And Scotch want to move it by a foot, and they're out with a little bit of run. Ferguson nearly mown down from behind. Great chase, Delaney. He did all the work. Here they go back inside forward 50. This kick should be cut off. A big fist from behind from Spencer along the boundary line here, trying to paddle it is done. Instead, he will fall over in a desperate attempt to keep the ball in. Boundary throw-in.
Yeah, so we've also just got around the grounds for Bendigo Bank. University Blues 74, Corville Grammarians 39. Oh, and Old Brighton back into the game against Old Haileybury 44 apiece in that one. And then Old Trinity still leading 71-38 over the Uni Blacks.
Well, it's a game that is on a knife's edge, that one. Old Brighton, premiership winners from a year ago, and they're trying to flex their muscles early. They've found their way back to the contest there. McIsaac, what a fly!
Well, that's the run he wants, just an unimpeded leaning late into the ball. Delaney did really well just to protect the drop zone, allowed Charlie to have a free-flowing run at that footy.
Oh, he like a trampoline. He's just springing his legs up, run, and then he just jumps. He's incredible athleticism about him, the big man, and he's going back for goal number 3. We talked about his prolific goal-kicking ability. He's just known to do this. He's an amazing set shot as well. He kicked one on the run in the second. He kicked one on the first. Can he kick one on the third? It looks pretty good off the boot. It's just the left-hand side for a minor score. So last couple of scores going Old Zav's way, but both being minor scores. Third quarter scoreboard update thanks to United Petroleum. This game on a knife's edge at the moment.
Townsend, last line of defence. He had 24 last week. That kick was a really, really good one. Straight through the A1 highway. Barter sends it out towards the wing. That is an absolute fist of glory coming across.
They love it. Look at him.
And none other than Alex Trigger, the flying mullet, just came in and killed the footy.
How about the cheer?
Yeah, they've done that a few times. They've been big on sort of rewarding and celebrating a lot of those 1%ers.
The boys on bounce, and Spud would love that one.
Yeah, big
the old
time.
bang,
Spot
just
on.
kill that footy.
Golden fist.
Neutral territory on the wing. Palm down, straight to the contest. Umpire's going to be called into duty once again.
Can we get a golden fist for the Baffa?
Oh,
Well, if we do, that'll win it. If we do. Or an award for best defender, nonetheless. They go unrecognised to the defenders. They only really get like a Team of the Year nomination, and then if you're in the team, well done. If not, that's about it. Nonetheless, Brown toe pokes that ball forward up towards half forward. Asks a bit of the attacking players, one of which was frenetic. And we're going to get a free kick, I believe. Is it Lasso? Umpires are just going to confirm where the ball...
I think they're saying ball in now, or they're deliberating.
Yeah, it's touched off the boot, so we'll get a boundary throw in, I believe.
You know what I think? There's two positions in football that if you want to be unselfish and not get the love, it's playing as a key back or playing as a ruckman.
Yep.
Unless you put up stats like Will Clark.
I mean,
well, that's true.
Will Clark, if he continues at the rate he's going, he might have a genuine case.
He's going up as an on-baller now.
Ball, one down there by Duncan, going forward. Ganji feeds it to the outside. It was slick too. And that kick, not as slick. That's gone out of bounds on the full. The cards to bring it back into play.
So right in the pocket. No, umpire's going to call this one back. Didn't step at the correct spot where it's being kicked from. Quinn Spencer, who I believe copped a bit of a knock just before. Might have gotten up slowly in the second quarter. He looks like he's back and moving freely now. He's got an option inside, very short in Beck. Instead, he's going to go longer, sends it to a dangerous spot. Clark, the target. Clark got both hands to it. Wasn't able to mark. In congestion, umpire will blow this one dead as the sun starts to beam down for the first time this afternoon. Blue skies overhead. The later we get here in the day, the nicer the weather's getting. What a day. And the first couple of days here of May, notoriously horrible weather, but the last 2 weeks have been sensational. This kick at goal is a very good effort. I think it was Aiden Frenetic who whacked a boot at it. It's going to be cut off, and they are out here on this bad side. Done. Well done, Old Scotch, to quickly try to put this attack to bed. They've evened the numbers, one-on-ones. They've now got the spare over the Zavs. But they're going to form a contest. McIsaac, stutter. They both with the climb.
Jeez.
Nancaro over the top, the new recruit. He's trying to take a Mark of the Year contender, let alone Mark of the Day. We've seen 2 efforts like that so far this afternoon. Going back inside now, Old Scotch, Frenetic, Clark, both spoil each other. Over for a minor score. He's very, very sore, but that is not the first person today that we've seen try to take.
Well, a couple went at that one too.
McIsaac went at the back.
Yeah, that was a little bit less of an effort.
Has there ever been a double specky?
Yeah, oh wow. Got to take it with both hands.
We almost just saw one there.
Oh, it's close.
Caleb Nankara, we mentioned he played in the Gold Coast Academy last year. Just last week he played in the VFL Young Guns via the Under-18 State Trials team. Of course, being a Queenslander, representing the Allies in the Under-18 Championships. That's a really nice mark there from Quinn Spencer. Right on cue, played his footy last year in the Adelaide Footy League. First year Cardinal. He drives it inside the attacking zone. Clark got goal side, hit the post.
Why would you dribble it?
Don't question anything that man does,
I was going to say, we brought up the bounce. Jason Dunst will be pulling his hair out.
That's true.
Golden chance gone.
He would have backed him in
Scotch.
99 out of 100 there.
He could have run another 10 metres and kicked it in the goal square.
Margin's 25. 5-6 plays 9-7.
It's just one of those ones too, like he's so dangerous as a forward, but you lose so much out of the middle with him not in there.
Yeah, you're spot on, Coop. And now he's back doing the rucking and winning it at ground level.
He's everywhere.
It's like he hears a burning. Ball goes back inside 50 towards a dangerous spot. Few Zavs boys there. Great fist coming there from Scott. Instead, it's going to go back the other way now, McIsaac. They feed it through hands, and now they're out here, Zavs. Down the line, there's only one option, and that one option is Duncan. It doesn't get to him on the full. Lean picks it up off the instep, back into a dangerous spot. It might well work out. Zavs have the numbers around the footy. Simon's put his head over the football instead. It's now on the outside with Beck, who went inside 50 and laced out. Guess who? Will Clark.
He's got a great step off the lead too, Cal. Like, there's not much he can't do. He's been
There's genuinely a number of players at VAFA level that you just question why they're not playing higher levels of footy.
It's an interesting one too, because this is a very similar angle to what he had, obviously opposite side, but to the goal he kicked in the second quarter there.
I said he was a certainty to kick that one here just because I could feel his aura.
Brings
a bit
it
too
back
far
into
away.
19 points if he kicks this too.
He hasn't quite hit this one as nicely as the last one. He's actually has hit it terribly compared to the last one. It's out of bounds on the full, no score.
Margin rests at 25 then, as we're about halfway through this third term for United Petroleum. 9-7, plays 5-6. Long driving kick from the pocket up towards Delaney. That's strong. Or is it?
Nope, it's coming back. It's going the other way.
It's going the other way. Maybe out of bounds on the full. It was very close to the paint.
Will Clark said, I'm taking this
He wasn't even near
out of the way,
Will
Quinn
Clark.
Spencer. This is mine.
So Clark then drives it long from the wing into the hot spot. Asks a few questions of the defence. Nothing quite doing there. Ball spills out towards the side. Dunn recovers for the Zavs. Has to go back. Working out all right. Hart was out of bounds as he kicked it. And the ball, well, it could have been going offensive side of the scoreboard for the old Zavs. It's not. It's come straight back.
It's not very often you usually see like the half-backer push the ruckman out of the way to take the kick or the kick in or something. It's not often you see one of the better ball users in the team get pushed out of the way and say, no, it's mine, and the ruckman's the one taking it.
And here he is on cue. Will Clark did well to feed it by hand, but he's actually given it straight back up to the red and black. And here we go, right on bang. Delaney. He marked one on the other side of the ground that wasn't paid. That one was going to have no questions asked. Kicking it up towards McIsaac. Had a nice little sit. Was punched away in the end. Ganji was watching it closely. Buried into there with Cormac. Couldn't quite get a handball to it. And we'll do it all again. This time neutral territory on the wing.
Very dangerous spot here. You win a clearance. You come frontal out of a stoppage right now. You're just straight into an attacking forward 50 with one-on-ones. So Clark has ripped himself away from the ruck. It's now Ferguson doing the duties. That's a very good mark taken down low. These are very good marks and very good goals today across both sides. Kick into the middle. They've got the spread now. Max Scott is running out to the wing. It won't get to him. It will get to his teammate Long. That is a very, very good kick. I think it's the first time I've called Long's name today, and that is one of the best possessions you'll see. Ned McMillan will line up for goal number 2, and he's confident.
Yeah, you can see they're trying to spread, though. Like, they've done that a few times on that fat side near where the benches are, and they've led up well. Sometimes the foot skills haven't been great, but it's led to opportunities for him.
Oh, McMillan, we can just see a massive crowd of people starting to Get the esky up there, build the crowd. McMillan has hit it horrendously.
Did a fair job to get it out that long,
That
too.
is one of
Grass.
the most impressive misses you will ever see.
Yeah. You won't hit one worse than that.
Well, I said he was confident.
Well,
probably
confidence is different to execution.
I don't know if he should have been.
He had the quick turnaround too when Clark led up at him too, so he'll hear all about that.
You know, with confidence like that, you usually find you shank it and then they start pointing for people to get back in certain directions.
Yeah.
Holmes. In from the reserves last week. Played 4 seniors games last year, did Charlie Holmes. Kicked a goal in each of those. Long kick out towards the wing. An early fly in was competitive there from Caldwell. And the umpire will call for it. We're very close to the line, but a ball up nonetheless. Scoreline remains as it was. 9-7, plays 5-6. Almost Ganji came away with a footy. There's a free kick, high contact, going the way of Old Scotch. Long driving kick from Charlie Cormack. Sends it long up towards Clark. He had a good run at it, but straight through the mitts. Goss, lovely mop up at ground level. Feeds it over the top. Tom Dunn. Inside. Goss continued his run forward. Over the top to Knott. What can Charlie not do with this one? McIsaac's leading towards the pocket. Delaney offers a second lead. Nothing quite doing, so he opts to pull the kick shorter. One hand to it. Good enough for the umpire. Connor Dunn paid the mark. He's about 70 from home. Still a kick or two away. McIsaac or Delaney. They're working together.
Delaney's laying blocks on again.
Here comes Charlie. Just too easy. Delaney, the blocks you were saying, Coop, they were right on the money. And Charlie McIsaac, well, this would be right from the top shelf is to kick this. Will Clark kicked one from here, to be fair.
And I think, too, Nankara is obviously just still working into being in this side. He's obviously new, and there's a bit of communication issues with defending McIsaac there because Delaney got a block on really easily, and there's no one going with Charlie.
Do you want to ask if I feel he's going to kick it?
Do you?
I don't know.
Charlie McIsaac from 50, right on the paint. That won't score. Top of the goal square. Delaney's going to fly. Nankaro too. No mark taken. In amongst it there. Couldn't quite get a boot to it. Frenetic. On the outside, no clean hand to it. Well done there by Townsend, just to clear the immediate danger. Sends it out towards half-back. Ralph goes down and picks it up. Not just stole it, kicks it into the hole, and McIsaac once again just drops into the hole. That's a great centering ball.
I'm certain he'll kick this one.
It's a great
beautiful
kick.
ball. Charlie not just found the space where there was none.
Do you think he meant that? It looked like
I
he
think
kind
so.
of got squashed when he kicked it, but I don't know if it's
You know what? If you
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
If you ask him, he'll say yes 100%.
Well, it feels like Scotch have had a lot of the ball in this third term, and the last 2 to 3 minutes have been all Old Zavs. Charlie McIsaac, 3 goals in round 1, 3 goals in round 2. This for his third of the afternoon, and that is pure. Never looked like missing for Charlie McIsaac. That takes his tally to 9 for the year. The margin's back out to 31 points. And they are really putting the foot down here, the Zavs. They are just holding that margin.
It's a bit of a killer, that one too, Cal, because I do agree with you. I thought that Scotch were sort of just working their way into the game nicely, and as we touched on with that set shot before that missed by about 100 metres, was that would have brought it within 20 points. So now back out to 31, and it looks like a hefty margin.
100's generous.
Little update around the grounds. The Uni Blacks, they are starting to make their move against the Tees. 3 goals in a row.
Tees getting nervous.
No, don't do that. I want them to win.
3 goals in a row, margins at 21.
I think after seeing what happened with D-Lar last year, where they just struggled, I just would love to see old Trinity
Barter cops one on the head there, and he's gone straight down.
He looks okay. He might get up here, I think. It's a little bit slow to his feet. Yeah, I was going to say old Trinity, I'd love for them to start 2-1. It'd be incredibly good, especially for a team coming up to show that they belong. It'd be the greatest way of starting. And right now, with this result going the way it is, it shows that they've been throwing some punches with the big boys.
Yes, no question. I mean, I don't think anyone expected that result last week.
Well, they're in hot form at the moment. Let's hope they can continue it. Spraley is just having his way in the ruck at the moment. McIsaac turned midfielder after kicking a goal. Now Henry Brown, he walked back into a tackle. Handball, don't know if it was legal. Umpire's going to let it play, though. That should be holding against Henry Long, and it is. So Long goes wider. Not his best kick. Cormac had to win it. Slipped a tackler. He's getting it the 1-2. Well done, Cormac. Arched his back. Handball to space. Was taken out of it off the ball. Umpire said play on. Welford went back and got it. That's a spearing bullet off the boot of McIsaac, and they are off once again. Handball over the top, bit of a chain. Great tackle there from Will Townsend. Able to stick it. Ball's going to get to the back. Fly from Delaney, both ends to it. Ball sat horribly here in this pocket. I believe it was Jack O'Sullivan again who's just been mobile.
That's why we love AFL footy, because that ball, only an AFL football could have bounced that poorly for that player.
He was going to score.
That was a goal. He's going to walk in and it just went right angles.
It's not a fun situation as a forward. I can tell you that right now. It's the most angering thing ever. Delaney palms it into a bad spot. If you're a fan of the Cardinals, and we will have a ball up. 23 minutes gone. Old Zavs are on the meme number.
There's a little bit on here as well between Barter, O'Sullivan. Hanson's in there too. Nankaro. Well, he was a third party in that and become the centrepiece of it.
He's got a bit of energy about him, Nankaro. McIsaac, tap. It was straight to Dixon. Kick's going to come straight back though. Walford again. He's right on the point of the square. Has teammates queuing up short. Goss. Patient. He's got no leads. He's got nothing on. Now he just decides to go long. It's to a dangerous spot. 3 Scotch players fly for the ball. Here he is for goal number 4. It's starting to wobble back. High up and under Delaney, they rush it over. Jack O'Sullivan's having some sort of afternoon. He kicked 3 goals to this point in the game. He's had a couple of opportunities at a fourth. Probably should have had a fourth in the second quarter, but it was called touched. And they move off the meme number. 10-8, 68.
Game high, 32-point lead it is for the old Zavs. Cormac swings it around the back to the running Leeton. Driving it outside immediate danger up towards the wing. It's a good ball that found Clark on his inside. A good handball too that found Beckworth, I think it was, back Caldwell. But it's going to be coming right back into the attack for the old Xaverians. Cormac! What a mark that is! A mark of the day contender for Gorman Commercial.
Kick not the best.
Kick wasn't fantastic. O'Sullivan pops up. He can fake the handball. Then either sticks. It's as easy as you like for Jack O'Sullivan. 38 points the margin strings out to. And the old Zavs, they look like they're going to be the team to jump up to 2-1.
Yeah, very disappointed in the last sort of 10 minutes for the Cards. They were up and about. Probably that set shot really turned the tables. We're looking to bring it back to within 20, and the Zavs have just gone bang, bang.
Do you think there's a reason he wasn't on the team sheet, Jack O'Sullivan?
Just tried to keep that one quiet.
It's certainly a game to remember thus far for him. Toward the end of the third quarter now, he's just starting to flex his muscles on this contest with 4
Comeback is absolutely on at the University Oval. It's a 9-point game.
Falling in a hole here.
It's now 5 goals in a row for the University Blacks. It's a 9-point game. That's our SEN match today. Of course, you can watch it on the VAFA Mega Ball as well.
Well, you know, I've been trying now in my second year here at the VAFA calling games. I've been trying to pick a team. And I have a soft spot for the underdogs, and Old Trinity were growing a special place in my heart.
Yep.
But, please don't lose. I'll be devastated. Free kick going Scotch's way. Henry Brown. He's had a lot of the football. About to tick over the 26-minute mark. Shadow starting to be cast across Campbell Sports Ground as we get into the latter part of the afternoon. Kick goes inside 50. Clark spoiled about 3 players. Welford took it. Wasn't able to get clean possession. Now they're about to come out with pace, and it's Campbell Lane. Kick into the middle is going to be cut off. Frenetic. I mean, he's almost in range from there. He's got a very, very good leg on him, and judging by the trek back, he is going to have the kick. He's on the point of the
long way out.
No, he's got a very, very big leg.
He's
starting from the centre. It is toward the breezy side of the ground.
Torp or drop punt?
He's going the drop punt.
I hope it's a torp.
He will kick this.
Oh.
He will kick this. Aiden Frenetic. He hasn't kicked it. He's got it very far. The distance wasn't an issue, was it? I told you he's got a good leg. Minor score, 5-7-37, 11-8-74. Told you he's got a good leg.
Booming effort from Aiden Frenetic.
Why would you doubt me?
Never did. I was just still quite shocked that he had the distance in him so comfortably. Aiden Frenetic. So the margin is 37. 37 plays 74. Delaney from the front. Lovely crumb. That was a beautiful bit of work. And Charlie McIsaac has bobbed up in acres of space.
Oh, I had to go quick there. Had so many numbers streaming past.
They had numbers streaming past, but there is still no one inside the attacking 50 for the Old Zavs. They now start to set up as Hansen marks about 80 from home. McIsaac pulls the kick late. One hand to it. Not good enough there from Walsh. Leighton clears his line. It's going to be coming straight back. Guiney takes a nice mark on the wing. So we're 27 and a half into this third term for United Petroleum. Wouldn't be too long left. Guiney sends it long. Numbers will fly in. Delaney, one of those. Bodies hit the deck. And then Delaney lays a really nice tackle. Scott was going nowhere. It spills out the side. Numbers will fly up. Umpire watching that one closely. And I think a free kick's going the way of Caldwell. He did well enough just to protect the drop zone, put his hands up and was taken out illegally.
Well, Caldwell has the football. Middle of their defensive 50 for Scotch. They need something to motivate them heading into three-quarter time. They have been manhandled thus far. Now they work it out. Very good hands from Woodhouse. He's been relatively quiet this afternoon. Kick up towards half forward, cut off very well. Here's a man who hasn't been relatively quiet. It's Charlie Cormack. Have called his name a number of occasions. The skipper flexing his muscles here late in the third. Aiden Frenetic's the option. He's going to find him quite comfortably. Now Frenetic quickly stops props and fires into the middle. A bit of a loopy kick, but it eventually got to its target. And Angus Simons is going to send it even wider. A genuine 50-50. Out the back here, Henry Long trying to track it. Couldn't track it. They're claiming it wasn't touched. The Zavs, the umpires are going to all convene. Touched boundary throwing. Thank you. You never know. It's been a point of contention across multiple different leagues. But it's a rule that has added some benefit, I guess, in terms of moving it on.
It would be an interesting one at local level, obviously, because there's no sort of replays and stuff like that. But I think common sense prevails.
Well, I seem to think it works a lot better at local level than it does at AFL level.
I would probably agree with that.
I think the technology
making a decision.
Well, exactly. The technology overcomplicates it, and it's not like we have a super slow-mo to go back and say, hey, that was touched. You just, umpire says it, you just believe it. Ball back into play here, Ryan Walsh, and there is the siren to bring up three-quarter time. Old Scotch with a mountain to climb, Cal.
Yeah, no questions asked about that. They are 5-7-37 and a lot to do in this final term, especially considering the Old Zavs. They are going to be kicking with the breeze. It's only a little breeze, but a breeze nonetheless down that far side of the ground. They're right at the screen here on KTV and, of course, VAFA.com.au. It's Premier Men's Showcase Round 3 action here of VAFA William Buck Premier Men's. Here's the Old Zavs by 37 points. They're in complete control as we'll take a momentary pause and resume hostilities in just a moment. Welcome back to Camberwell Sportsfield. We have got a really, really enticing final quarter ahead of us. There has been another correction in the scoreboard since we've broken at three-quarter time. An extra behind has gone the way of Old Scotch, which means the margin sits at 36. 5-8 plays 11-8. It's an even six-kick game. Gents, Cooper Watkins, you're on specials thanks to Hit IQ alongside Cal Panuto in play-by-play. Cooper, what have the Cards got to do? It's got to be a miracle from here.
Yeah, well, I was in the huddle for Old Scotch just then, Mark Nat, and he's specifically I was listening to the midfield coach, and they were just really big on effort. They wanted to make sure that the Zavs boys at the end of this game felt their presence, they saw coming off the field, and then whatever comes of it. And I think Mark Nat was very big on the long game. It's 36 points if they win this or not, but I think they want to come off the field knowing that they've put their full effort forward.
And a call for the move. Aiden Frenetic is starting in the middle of the ground, so
alongside
you want to win a game.
Too.
You put your big stars in the middle of the ground. That's what they've done, and immediately Cormac starting to move forward early, kick inside the forward 50. Great mark. Well, Henry Long.
It sounds basic, but it makes so much sense. Clark, Frenetic, McCormack. Yeah. Just get him in the middle of the ground where the ball's going to be. Get your stars involved.
Yeah, and I think Cormac's probably been a bit wasted at halfback today in that you can probably use him in the middle for spurts, same as Frenetic, just to throw something a bit different in there.
Well, you get all the stars in the middle. They come frontal out of that centre bounce and get an unimpeded look on goal. Henry Long to cut the margin to an even 30. Kick is a little bit to the left, starting to roll back, but not enough. Minor score. So first score going Old Scotch's way to open up the final term. 5-9-39, 11-8-74. Final score to scoreboard update thanks to Bowens.
Aggressive kick through the middle of the ground was an absolute beauty from Walford that found Dunn. He quickly goes to Lane. In a little bit of a trouble. Guiney fed it back by hand towards Hanson. He was going absolutely nowhere, but it's a hot start for Old Scotch.
And you've only seen a minute 20, but their intensity's lifted. They're going to at least have the first 10 minutes to see what they can make of this contest.
William Buck, Premier Men's Footy on KTV and VAFA TV. It's showcase round in the Premier Men's, and it's living up to the billing. Scotch, they're starting to make their case, but the Zavs, they've got other ideas. Not fed it inside. Here's Connor Dunn watching that ball closely at half forward. Skilled a few. O'Sullivan just wanted it more. Not top of the goal square for Charlie McIsaac. That is a good mark. He just continues to threaten each and every time that ball goes inside 50. And he's going to line up for number 4.
Seems like he kicks bags for fun.
He knows what he's doing down there, that's for sure.
Oh, you could have 10 touches and kick 5 goals, and he's changed the course of a game.
It's one of those ones, too, with Clark as well, similarly. I feel like he gets up the ground well as well and can affect. He actually rucked a few times randomly, but he's got the leap on him, as you said, Cale, before. He's got some springs in his calves.
10 goals across the 3 meetings they had last year for Charlie McIsaac with his 4th today. No, he's pushed it just to the right. Almost put that one in the book, given his talents in front of goal, but nonetheless he misses right. The margin's back out to an even 6 goals as it was at three-quarter time.
He's left a few chances out on the board.
Scoreboard's even put up as a goal.
I was just listening to your scoreboard and I was like, that doesn't look right from they've got up there on the screen.
11-9 plays 5-9.
They are generous.
I'll back you in,
scoreboard. They are very, very generous. As I said, Cal doesn't make it.
Never wrong. No, that's it. Never wrong.
So they transition it out through kicks, but eventually it's going to come unstuck. Well cut off by Guiney. He was wanting to give the handball back to Ralph. Instead, he's just going to go with a long kick inside 50, and he'll get another shot at number 4. It's like rinse repeat. Ball goes out, ball comes back in. Charlie McIsaac mark, miss, ball comes out. He plays on, and there is number 4 and number 10 for the year.
He's kicked it into the lawn bowls too,
well,
I reckon.
I mean, we did see that in the 19s game, and poor boys, the McCorkle, one of the Eddies, he had to go and charge after it and go and get it. And look, it cost them about 20 seconds in the latter stage of the game. That's a big kick, though. We're back out to 7 goals.
It's an interesting one with him too, because I think he just reads the ball so well as a forward. He's in a bit of that mid-size. Like, he's not massive. He's obviously got a leap on him. He's not super, super quick, but he's just a natural forward. He just reads the drop of the ball so well.
It's his 110th game for the old Xaverians, Charlie McIsaac. That his 214th goal. So going at basically 2 goals a game.
I'm telling you, you'll break the record. Someone get me that stat. Premier men's goal-kicking record.
One to keep an eye on over the next 5 to 10 years, given how good Charlie's going. Simons won the ball forward, intended for Clark, just skittled him. Guiney wins the ball defensive side of the centre square. He goes out towards the lane. The palm in there was good enough from Leighton to knock that ball out, and we got a boundary throw-in. 4.5 gone in this final term for Bowens. 12-9, plays 5-9. Old Zavs currently at a game-high 42-point lead as they re-establish their candidacy as one of the top teams in William Buck Premier Men's. The Tees, Old Trinity, they really put an upset in the books, and at three-quarter time of that game around the grounds for Bendigo Bank, they hold a 13-point lead against the University Blacks. The Tunners, they have really put the foot down. They trailed by 23 points at quarter time. It's now a 30-point lead for Old Brighton.
I'm letting you guys know now I'm an Old Trinity fan.
Okay.
I've decided.
You put it in the book.
Well, they're 2-1. I've got to jump on the bandwagon, and then I'll jump off in about 5 weeks.
Still a quarter to go in that one. Well, it's only 2-1 just yet.
Nah, he's locked them in.
We're in neutral territory on the wing. Dunn was on the outside waiting for it. Didn't come his way. Hanson lays a nice tackle. And the umpire's going to call for it once more.
Well stationed here, outer wing, cricket pitch side of the ground. Cricket pitches, if they were real grass, would be shocked into thinking they're about to head back into summer with the weather we've had in the last 2 weeks. What a mark. I think it's a play on as well at the end of that. I think it was a mark or maybe a play on call from the umpire. Anyway, it might well work out. Kick coming on goal off the boot of McRae, and he's got a third. And he might have just shut the door completely on Old Scotch for the afternoon. 13-9, 87. I'll wait until the scoreboard reappears. I believe it's 5-9, 39. And a game that is well and truly probably shot to bits now, bordering on 50 points.
Yeah, they've put the daggers in the last couple minutes. That sort of first centre bounce and then the set shot could have given some life to the Cards, but doesn't seem to be that way. Looks like the Zavs are going to run away with it now.
So 39 plays 87.
Hey, Cal, I think it's a great time to go around the grounds. I'm emotionally invested.
Around the grounds. So let's have a look at that Blacks Trinity game. It is three-quarter time there. It is a 13-point lead for the Tees. That is one we're keeping an eye on as Barter. A lovely little shrug of the shoulders, broke away from the tackle. Handball comes out from Goss to Guiney. And now the Zavs are marching their way up towards half forward. He was the intended target, just misread the line. Dunn picked it up and the Zavs looked to march forward, but it was a poor handball in the end as ball spills out towards the line. Frenetic couldn't bend down and pick it up.
And he was not happy after. He put a little bit of a shoulder into, I believe it was Ganji back there. It was actually a lasso free kick. Ball's back into McIsaac. Is there to cut that one off. We'll have a boundary throw in now.
I think McIsaac can just smell a fill up here, I reckon. I think he's wanting to take the opportunity to kick 4 or 5 here.
Oh, he's not taking the handbrake off. He's got places to be. He's probably going to be in the pub in about 2 hours. Hey, guys, I kick 7 a day. Clark extracting, as he loves to do. Long ball up the line. It's all Zavs here. They should cut this. Oh, they're going to spoil each other. Woodhouse went over the top of the fist. Guiney stood underneath it all. And we'll have a ball up / throw in. Cal, do we have any scores of note?
Yes, well, I tell you, the story that's really unfolding and it's gone under the radar is University Blues. They are currently leading by 70 points over Caulfield, and the Blues are going to move to 3-0 to start this season. They were really in a relegation battle for all of last year. They're going to start 3-0. Which is a really, really impressive start for the University Blues, alongside Old Brighton, who are currently 6 goals in front of Old Haileybury.
How much are they in front by?
6 goals, it is Brighton.
Oh, great. This is turning out to be a shocking start, I suppose. Old Scotch, 1 and 2 probably at the end of this, barring a miracle. It's a position they've been familiar with. They've still made back-to-back grand finals.
Well, they had to fight from a long way back last year as Walford drives it out to the wing, ball in.
You prefer to start in a better fashion when you're a team that has such a high bar and you've been performing so well. You want to get out fast to allow yourself the best opportunity. If the injuries come or whatever might happen in the future, you got players coming back into the side or out of the side. You want to try to start as best as possible to shore up the back end of the year.
Wins at the start of the season, very, very important. Umpire, let's rip on that boundary throw-in. Duncan was amongst it all. Nice on there by O'Sullivan to raise the hands up towards Dunn. That little toe-popping ball just goes into the hole. And the Zavs, well, they're just having a bit of fun. Mark taking about 35 out directly in front. This margin could stem out to beyond 9 goals should this one go through.
This is going to get away from Old Scotch pretty quickly, I fear. I just feel like now that the game's just in this stage of limbo where it's hovering around 50 points, Old Zavs really could blow this one to bits, and this could blow out very quickly and end up being an 80-point win. 19
touches and 2 goals last week for Charlie Knott. Broke a 6-game streak without a goal in that contest. The margin currently stands at 48. It's been a really compelling fourth quarter so far for the old Xaverians, and really formidable from start to finish. Bobby Knott in the runway. Strikes from 35, that's straight, no problems. Not with his first of the afternoon, the margin's out to 54. It's 14-9-93 to 5-9-39.
And I think, Cal, one thing to touch on now, and we can probably move it a little bit away from this game because obviously everything that's going to be going on in the next 20 minutes is probably surplus to requirements in terms of scoreboard. But I think with Old Scotch, and we were touching on it before the game started, but there are a few big outs for Old Scotch. Obviously, Joel Bart is no longer there as a captain, and then Tarrant is also playing a lot of footy for North VFL, and those are some big holes that they're missing. So I think that's probably something that you can see with the early performances as well.
Well, just think about how good Old Zavs could be. They're going to move to 2-1.
It's a very good point.
And they're missing their best 2 players, who are also 2 of the best players here in the VAFA. Cleanly gathered, Walford's going to go wider. And a mark taken out here in the wing by Guiney. They want to move it on quickly. So not content by just seeing this game out. Guiney, bit of overlap run. Flicks it forward. Ganji now on the outer wing. Takes a bit of time. Lowers the eyes. Very good kick. So from the far part of the ground here. Kick inside forward 50. McIsaac rises. He's dropped one he probably should have taken. Gone to ground after it as well. How to get back to his feet. This kick coming back down the line. Couple of one-on-ones. A big collision. 2 teammates, Ferguson and Long. And they'll try to work this out here, the Zavs. They're going to try to get it up the line. Welford, great kick. So their ball use in this second half has been supreme. Lace-out targets, they've just been superb, and they're running on air at the moment.
Yeah, Kai Welford, particularly off half-back, has just been just the general, using it around the defensive zone. It's a long kick, goes inside the attacking 50. No mark taken, beats them all. Ball in.
And I think, and as you said, Carl, I think when you look at and assess the Zavs on the other side of that is you can learn a lot about a team when you've got a couple of those of your leaders out, and you've touched on it, Cal. Obviously, the Zavs' second side is very good, so you've got a lot of good talent coming through, but they get exposed at the top level, and they're playing some good games. I mean, McRae has had a really good game. Holmes has had a really good game as well.
Clark v. Delaney in the ruck. Delaney won the ball down on the outside there. Townsend going absolutely nowhere. Ball up about 20 out from the old Zavs goal. They're looking to put this one out to 10 goals and beyond. As we're only 12 minutes into this fourth term, it feels like an eternity for the Cardinals. Barter was around it dangerously. Hanson going nowhere, and we'll do it all again. 14-9, plays 5-9. Old Scotch have really had just no momentum at any point of the day. Brosnahan, left foot snap. That's a high arcing kick, but it's gone through. That's a brilliant finish there from Wade Brosnahan.
I told you it could get ugly quickly. We're out to 60 points now. Like, this game's just really getting away from Old Scotch, and I think they'll be very, very disappointed. I think Mark Nat will probably, when they sit down and have their review during the week, be extraordinarily disappointed in the way that they're finishing off this game at the moment. I mean, they've still got plenty of time to go on the final term for them to kick a few and make it look a bit more respectable, but they've been comprehensively outplayed.
And five straight goals now. Sorry, Coop.
And I think it's probably now, just only now, really reflecting the dominance. Because to be honest with you, if this was a 5-goal win, it probably doesn't reflect that, because they've been by far the better team all day.
Judging by all the boys up on the beanbags with the esky out on top of the hill, they are getting plenty of marking opportunities at the moment.
Yeah, they are.
And I can't have thought they're all too sober, so we might be seeing some Falcons if they keep kicking goals, the old Zavs. Here's a chance here for Scotch. It's Ferguson who runs onto the end of it, paddled it forward to Long. quick kick around the
Good
corner.
goal.
It's going to be a goal. And it's not a nice injury at the end of this, I don't think. I think it's long, and he's in a lot of pain.
Oh, no.
Oh, this is...
He's grabbing at his shin, which is really, really not a good sign.
he looks in a lot of pain here. This is...
Really, really upsetting after what was a really nice goal.
Well,
But Henry Long down with the trainers at the moment. He is really moving about. Which
I think it might be his knee, actually.
It's either a knee or a shin. So this is going to be quite a pause in this game.
He's in a lot of pain. It's never nice to see something like that. And as a team, you always hate to see your teammates go down. And I mean, obviously, you don't know the severity of the injury or what's actually wrong. Obviously, we'll try to get some news through where possible. But that's.
So the injury is for All the Sport Victoria, a team of skilled Melbourne orthopaedic surgeons specialising in musculoskeletal conditions and injuries.
He's coming straight to the room, so I think that'll be a pretty...
he's putting no weight into that left leg. This is Henry Long.
So if you don't go through the interchange gates, your day's done.
Yeah.
And
I don't think
that's...
I don't think that's a worry.
Given how much pain he was in, he was never really a chance at coming back. That is a really, really ugly-looking injury. Unfortunately for Henry Long, who just kicked a brilliant goal, and then as he was either off celebrating or just in the step to regain his balance.
Yeah, it was one of those ones. I was watching the ball trickle through, so I didn't get to see whether it was something in the sort of the contest after he kicked it or...
What I didn't find too positive was the old ACL test where they grab just below the knee and they shift it forward and back to see if the ACL is intact. Now, I'm not a doctor by any means, but
you could tell by his reaction.
His reaction, and that sort of suggests that that's the area and that's the region. Obviously, time will tell, but it's a shame, and he's still in a lot of pain. But play is back underway here, and Scotch, maybe with a little bit of extra motivation, kick in the Clark direction. He should mark. He doesn't. Ball gets to ground. Look at the gather. Look at the snap. If he kicks this, it's going to miss, but that is just some sort of effort from the big ruckman. He is having an almost day, and judging by the fact that that's the fifth time I've seen him grab his hands, he's clearly got an issue with that right hand because he keeps grabbing it like that index finger and rude finger. He's sort of just, he's struggling with it a little bit.
Lovely ball from Goss out to Charlie Knott. As we're halfway through this fourth term for Bowens, the builder's choice, bowens.com.au. Mark taking it half back here by Woodhouse.
You been to Bowens recently, Cal?
Not recently. No, not myself.
Not doing much building?
No. Can't say it's my particular forte. Calling footy is about as good as I can do. Done.
You and me both, Cal.
I should stay away from calling footy.
Get to Bowens. Done. Half back. Sends it along the line. Amongst it there was Cormac, and punching it towards the line there was Spencer for the Old Scotch boys, and that ball's gone out of bounds. We'll get a boundary throw in on the wing.
Look, it's certainly going to be a fun review, I think, for the Old Scotch boys, but also the Old Scotch fans in general. Old Zavs have come into enemy territory against their arch rivals and are going to take the cake in both occasions with the under-19s and seniors performances.
It's funny because the Old Zavs, their 2 wins this season are going to come on the road, and the one game that they dropped was to Trinity, who picked up the win at Toorak Park. As for Old Scotch, their 1 win came at home this week, so their home record will move to 1-1 as Old Scotch are driving themselves up towards the pocket. Clark tried to keep it inside the field of play as he just gets a little nudge towards the line.
It's not what you want as a ruckman, being asked to go full stretch towards the boundary with a big fence coming in your way.
Fence would have fell over, I reckon.
I was going to say we might have an opportunity if this ball is exited out of defensive 50 to go around the grounds once again. There's some results that we're sweating on. I'm sweating on. As frenetic, it goes past him, trying to get his Brunson a hand. And we'll have a stoppage. No, holding the football. And Aiden Frenetic should be the beneficiary of the free kick here. And he, I think, will fancy his chances exactly like the last one.
This one's a bit tougher going into
just
the breeze.
Just got to sit it on Clark's head.
He's not going back to add the shot, so he's sort of looking. Now he goes in the Clark direction, and he's hit him lace out. That's what happens. Two of your spearheads, and this, I think, is very kickable for Will Clark. Around the grounds, Cal, take it away.
Yes, well, Brighton, they have just put an end to that game. 48 points they are in front now, Old Brighton. That game was unbelievably at three-quarter time, just a two-kick game, so they have just made a statement there, Old Brighton. The Blues, they're home and hosed over Caulfield, and Old Trinity have punched away a little bit more. They have moved out to a 21-point lead over the University Blacks.
I'm a Trinity fan until the season falls apart, but at the moment, I'm a Trinity fan. 2-1,
Trinity
we'll take it. I said it, I called it. Will Clark here. He's had a very, very good day regardless. Kick is on its way. Umpire shuffles, and it's a goal. So Will Clark has another for the afternoon. That's his second to go with a minor score. And, look, if there's anything to take away from this game, it's that Will Clark is a freak. That has not changed.
Yeah.
Year over year, deaths, taxes, Will Clark being good at footy.
Well, I'll tell you what, you can do death, taxes and footy players complain about calls because a lot of the Zabs boys weren't happy that was called. I reckon that they thought that went over the goalpost instead of through them.
Hang on a minute. Let's go to the arc. Wait.
Well, Clark was smiling about it, so he'll take them when they come his way.
Well, it's an interesting month coming up for Old Scotch. As we resume hostilities, we'll come to that in a moment. Nankaro won the ball down. Goss, aggressive, won the handball out. Nice tackle there, O'Sullivan.
I don't mind Nankaro in the ruck too. Gives him something different.
He's got a very good leap on him. Like, he gets up.
Yeah.
Old Scotch next week, they take on Old Haileybury at Princes Park.
Game.
That'll be a big game. Then we'll host Old Brighton. Then rounding out the month with St Kevin's and the University Blues. So those last three games are really tough. As for the Old Zabs, they host Caulfield next week before wrapping up their month with the Blues, St Bernards and Old Brighton. So tough games across the park for both of these teams. But Old Scotch next week against Old Haileybury, they will certainly be looking for a bit more of a response.
Yeah, look, it's just start to the season. You never really know how anyone's going to play. I mean, I suppose it's the year-over-year fluctuation. You don't necessarily know who's going to be good and who's going to be bad. You look at the Uni Blues and face some relegation. Now they're 3-0. So, I mean, that for footy it's a fun one. Teams are bobbing up out of nowhere, and Old Trinity as well. They're 2-1. I mean, look, if you after the last person to get promoted being De La Salle, they went straight back down. So, it's a very, very good start for them, and maybe an opportunity for a few more teams to show their hand and show that they can match it with the Premier Men's competition.
Frenetic, just a little cramp, I think, behind this stoppage. Little toe poke forward, goes all right, and dropping into the hole. Nice intercept mark there from Townsend as we're entering time on of this fourth term for Bowens. Townsend, a lovely looking kick. It actually drops into the middle of absolutely nowhere. Ralph streaming through the middle, tries to kick it towards the corridor. Picked up nicely here by Goss. Sends them inside the attacking 50, but to no avail. It's going to be coming straight back as Townsend takes a nice little intercept mark.
Well, Hayden Frenek's been cramping for the last 30 seconds, and the second he realised there was an outlet kick to get a disposal, his cramp disappeared. Handball off. Here goes Scott straight up the guts. 22 minutes gone, final term. That's a great mark. It's a terrific mark. Hamish McIsaac. If you got the last name McIsaac and you play for Old Xaverians, you're probably going to be good at footy. He'll get it back. Halfbacks love the cheapies. Sprints it wide. Gets a good mark. Now Thomas Hart's going to take it on. Takes the territory. Oh, it's set up. It was actually very well marked in the end. Playing on there and going forward was Guiney. Kicking towards the pocket. Brosnahan might kick a second here. And will. Oh. You are kidding. He is
good old poster.
The Jason Dunstall curse again.
Yep.
Go the dribble, but that has brought up their ton.
Cormac just overran the football. Ralph had his kick smothered. Spilling out towards half forward. Dunn just wanted the football, then turns inside. Cards with numbers around here. Cormac did well enough to win that ball forward, and now they can run in spades. Barron. Next in the chain up here is Clark at half forward, completely unattended. Plays on, centres it across the face of goal. What can they make of this Old Scotch? Getting back in McMillan. And he's tackled over the line. We'll get a boundary throw in. 23 and a half gone in this final term. Old Zavs, they're 100. Old Scotch, 52. The margin at that, of course, 48. It was up to 60 momentarily. The Cards have responded with the last two of the game. 7-10 plays 5-10. Clark
thrown in a ruck duties inside the attacking 50. Hansen just wanted it most. He feeds it back to Goss. Careful kick outside defensive 50. Made a little bit of a meal of it. Leighton recovers, drops it into the hole. Early flying. Good mark, McMillan. And he can take his 30. And we'll snap this one around the right-hand side.
I will say, I think...
Plays on quickly, McMillan, and makes no mistake. He's put through his second of the afternoon. And the margin back down to 42. It's 3 in a row for Old Scotch. They're finishing quite nicely.
I was going to say, I think in terms of, we talk about the talent that's been on show across both sides. I mean, it's great to see. I mentioned earlier this game has a chance to blow right out to 80 points. Old Scotch have just kicked the last few and kept themselves around the mark. I mean, look, they've been comprehensively beaten, but you can at least make the scoreboard look a bit better. I will say about Will Clark, like I think Old Scotch are going to have to make a fake identity and a fake number for him just so no clubs start trying to poach him or anything like that because, I mean, look, he's too good to lose. I just watched him take a mark, reel around his right and
it was a good centering ball,
actually kick a very, very good football that probably should have been marked. Ball back into play here. So, doing the rucking now, Oscar Duncan goes long, deep into a pocket. He's got a couple of options here, but here goes Scotch again. They're actually starting to work it a bit better here. That's a very nice chipping kick over the top. I believe it's Walsh who's spread it on very quickly. So Scotch have the numbers. They've got the fat side of the ground. That's a good kick. A very good kick. Lean. He wants Clark. He sends it to Clark. Sends it over Clark's head. And tracking back here is the flying mullet trigger. And it's over the boundary line.
It's been that sort of day, though, for Scotch. They've had their moments that it feels like they just haven't made the most of, whereas Old Zabs, particularly kicking up to McIsaac and McRae's kicked 3, O'Sullivan's got 4 as well.
You can definitely point out to about 3 or 4 moments where if they kick a set shot or something like that, they get back into the game, bring it back down to 15, 20 points, but they just never did.
You know what I love is this ball's just about to be brought back into condition. I love that Scotch gets 70 out from goal and they immediately just go, where's Will Clark?
Yeah.
It's just...
I mean, I'd do it if I was a midfielder.
It's good reason.
It's pretty impressive. Clark did the rucking there. Down for the ball was McRae, who's just down at the bottom of the play. There's a couple of players that are a bit slow to get up, maybe to tired. Just spinning around Lean. Lean fired a handball off. There's a chance for a goal coming up here. It's going back. Clark in between two. Fist it over. And a minus score. 15-10, 100, plays 8-11-59, 26 and a half minutes gone here, final term. And it's been such a privilege today to be broadcasting here at Community TV with this double header. We did the 19s now into the Premier Men's and have done a terrific job on the coverage this afternoon.
Speaking of terrific, and this has been brilliant from the Old Zabs. 3 kicks, they're inside 50. That last kick from McIsaac wasn't fantastic. And beneath the scoreboard we are now with Townsend. 26 and a half gone in this fourth term for Bowens. A low darting kick was absolutely perfect. Barring. It's all traffic cones in front of him. No one really keen to offer that much of a lead. He's going to drop it long up towards Cormac. Competed well. But numbers here favour the red and black, and they're going to try and pierce him straight through the middle. Ganji kicks it out wide. Completely unguarded is Brosnahan. And he marks about 45 out on a 45-degree angle.
I thought that train horn was the siren. It actually got me. It's been such a long day.
A long day, but a fun one nonetheless. The KTV doubleheader. Of course, KTV, it's available and free to all News Corp online subscribers. You can log into Community TV, grab a subscription and watch the best of the VAFA, plus a range of different elite community sports from right around the country.
They're confident behind the goals. They're queuing up for the mark.
Brosnahan from 45. That's perfect. Absolutely perfect, Wade Brosnahan. That never looked like missing. Margins back to 47. And Dan Donati and the Old Zabs, they're going to move to 2-1.
Tell you, I don't know who we're picking for best players on the day. There's been a fair few of them. They've had Phillips. McRae did a lot of good work in the first half. Brosnahan, McIsaac have all played really good games of footy, and then, as you said, Walford off the back half looked really good.
Yeah, Jack O'Sullivan's kick 4.
Yeah, geez, I've forgotten that one too. The old laid in.
Oh, what?
Laid in, laid out.
Well, you hide him. Oh,
yep.
Jack O'Sullivan. Who's that? We don't know who that is. Just rocked up to the club today and said he wanted a game. Just kick 4. There you go. Ball back into play here. I'm losing my mind. Campbell Lane. He was in pursuit of the football. That's a good bit of body work from Nankaro. He's actually shown a bit of promise today, the young man. Henry Brown on the end of it, tried to slip a tackle. They have the numbers queuing up. This should be a goal. Simons, what a tackle. 28 and a half minutes gone. There's a snap on goal.
Oh, no.
And a goal for Cooper Lean. And
I think that's cramp.
A big cramp. And you know what? Will Goss has just played one of the most incredible efforts for a tackle. There's a bit of confusion here. This is a free kick.
Another free kick. Yeah, there was a bit of late contact. A free kick, I think, is going to go the way of Charlie Jackson.
We're talking about making the margin respectable.
No, it's going back to the middle. So the
yeah,
umpire was pointing
I saw that too. It was sort of pointing in that direction, and there was a few Zavs boys that were arguing.
Well, I mean, look, I believe it was Will Goss who was cramping, and the player who made that spectacular tackle. It still resulted in a goal, but when you're up by however much they've been up by, the margin sits at 41 at the moment. I mean, look, you'd be hard-pressed to think that, you could just flow through the last couple of minutes of a game. That effort's incredible.
Jackson wanted the footy most. Couldn't quite end up with it, so a long kick goes forward for the Old Zavs, but that ball has cleared them all. We're getting a boundary throw-in as we tick into 30 minutes gone in this final term. The Old Zavs 41 points in front. They're going to move to 2-1 and back into the top half of the table. They entered this round in fifth with a percentage just below 100. It's going to jump well above and beyond that. The Cards, I'll drop to 1 and 2, as we say, with Old Haileybury next week. That becomes a really, really important 8-point game. As Nankaro won the ball down, and the Cards are going to march their way forward. Not for much longer.
It's 30 minutes gone final term, and they are still chasing that hard. I mean, it's super impressive the way that they've gone about their game today.
Immense rundown tackle there from Sammy Ralph on Cormac. Feeds it out wide, Campbell Lane. Lowers the eyes. It's an absolute dart that found Delaney.
I think Sammy Ralph went down with a bit of cramp after that chase as well.
They're all cramping. They are all cramping.
It is a little bit warmer.
It's too hot, Cal. That's
well,
why.
I mean, look, I think they're complaining. We're not.
Delaney's got one.
Yeah.
This would be one of the picks of the bunch, Delaney. That is a fantastic kick. No, goal umpire stayed pretty still. But in the end, it's missing to the right-hand side margin. Now 42. 16-11 plays 9-11.
Well, 31 and a half minutes gone final term. I think it's a good chance to ask, Coop, where do we think Old Scotch go from here? They're going to be 1 and 2. They found themselves in a very similar position last year. This ball's about to come back inside 50. Hold that. Campbell Lane sends it inside. Sends it goalward. Skipper brilliance. What a finish. 17-11, 1-1-3, 9-11-65. Coop, I'll ask you once again, where did the Scotchman go from here?
I think it's an interesting one, as Cal put before, that obviously next week might be a little bit of a easier matchup, but then there's 3 very, very tough games following that. They've just got to get back to their brand of footy. I think obviously there's going to be a few boys that are going to pull up sore from this, but I reckon there'll be a pretty staunch review during the week, and then they sort of go from there, see what they need to do to improve their game of footy. Obviously they're coming up against a very good side, and a side, as we pointed out, that was strong all the way throughout last year. So there's a bit in that as well, but obviously they're heavily undermanned, as we've touched on.
I think the Cardinals might have to just go back to basics next week.
Yeah.
Aiden Frenetic, midfielder. Will Clark, ruckman.
Will Clark everywhere would do. I think just fine.
Just get 22 Will Clark, that'd be handy.
Just get a 3D printer.
Yep.
You get a 3D printed Will Clark. They need to be a pretty big 3D printer, though. He's a tall man.
Really just awaiting the siren at this point as the Old Zavs will win themselves another free kick. It's going the way of Duncan in that ruck contest against the Nankaro. 39 hitouts last week for Oscar Duncan alongside Alex Spralia this week. It's been a really, really imposing duo that Dan Donati has got at his disposal. It's McRae, defensive side of the wing, sends it long and high. Big fly. Delaney almost took a really, really nice mark. It's off hands. And through the wing, the Cardinals go. McRae cuts it off once again, sends it straight back to where it came. Delaney's going to fly again. Unbelievable what this guy can do, Ed Delaney. And he's going to strike almost a copy and paste of his last effort
45 metres, 45-degree angle.
And the last effort went very, very, very close.
And then he's pretty sure he kicked one goal, and that goal was from that area, I think.
1 goal, 2.
And you know what?
Today.
If I was him, I'd be aiming for the group of kids that are jumping around, moving their arms.
They're ready for it.
Pretty good spot to aim because they'd be dead centre of the goals.
Pretty fascinating too, Cal, because he was one of those guys that started well. At the start of last year, we did the De La Salle game. Yes. It was the first game of the year. And then I think at some point he was dropped. So he's back into form, clearly.
Oh, he had a second
chance. Can't be dropped on that form. Ed Delaney on the full-time siren has flushed it. Absolutely perfect to seal the deal for the Old Zavs. 54-point victors they finish up here at Camberwell Sports Ground. A compelling performance from start to finish for the Old Zavs. They win this game by 54. It's 18-11, 119, defeating the Old Scotch Cardinals 9-11-65. Cooper Watkins been on specials for hit IQ. That is about as good as wins come.
Yeah, it was a really dominant performance, and as we touched on, I think they deserved to be able to get out to that margin at the end of the day. They were much the better side, put it on the scoreboard, 9 goals, the difference obviously. Blowing the siren again, hello. But no, really, 4-quarter performance, obviously put it on the scoreboard more in the second half, but I think Dan Donati will be very happy with that performance.
It's a little post-game show for an Australian venue company. Own and operate more than 200 of Australia's most popular and iconic pubs, bars and event spaces. You can find out more at ozvenueco.com.au. We'll start it off with the Around the Grounds, thanks to Bendigo Bank. And Carl, you'll be very pleased with the newly picked up Old Trinity. They have re-established their position in this game against the University Blacks.
Get me a signed jersey.
29 points in front are the Tees. They lead at 94-65. That game is done and dusted. Just about. It's actually still 26 minutes gone in that fourth term, but that game is officially going to go the way of the Tees. Of course, you can watch every single game as they are finishing up here in William Buck Premier Men's on VAFA's Mega Wall, vafa.com.au. All 5 games of Premier Men's showcase round on exhibition there. Old Brighton, they got the job done against Old Haileybury, trailing by 4 goals at quarter time. They won it by 8 goals. An unbelievably impressive fourth quarter from the Tunners to remain unbeaten. Also remaining unbeaten are the University Blues. They win by 80 points in the end, defeating Caulfield 67-147. Of course, here a comprehensive win, I should say, for the Old Zavs, 119-65. And the St Kevin's St Bernard's game hasn't quite had live updates throughout the afternoon. But of course, you can go to the VAFA Mega Wall and go see the results of that one. The goal of the day, Cooper Watkins will go for Marshall White, selling prestige homes for more than 50 years. There's 3 names that I've written down on mine. Campbell Lane's last. You can take your pick of these 3.
Yep, okay.
Campbell Lane's goal there late in that fourth term. Will Clark's goal just in front of us here, or Ed Delaney's strikes from out there at half forward?
I think in a losing display, I'll give it to Will Clark. I thought that was a great effort in the pocket there. I had absolutely no confidence in him to kick it from there. However, my man over here, Cale, had complete confidence in him. So
said he was not going to miss.
Utter certainty.
Yeah. So I'll back in that from the big man. That was unbelievable.
Listen, God turned water into wine, and God created Will Clark.
That's true.
There's a chance for everything, all right?
Mark of the day for Gorman Commercial. There was 2 for me, one of which was Ed Delaney once again, just freakishly athletic with a number of good contested marks. There was also a diving mark out there from Charlie Cormack out on the far side of the ground.
Yep.
Took that one very low to the ground. That was a nice one at that too. And of course, our thoughts are obviously with Henry Long, who kicked a very nice goal and then a matter of seconds later did a really, really horrifying knee injury, it looked like. So we're hoping that he is okay. Cal Panuto, you've been alongside me for the course of the afternoon. It's been a long day, but a fun one nonetheless. The Old Zavs, they did the double against the Cards today.
Yeah, they did, and Old Scotch, they would be very livid. Arch rivals walk in here and kick down the door and walk away with 2 wins. They've got the bragging rights until they meet again, which will be at some point in the year. I have to check the fixture for when that is, and hopefully I'm on the call for that game, because it's always scintillating action when these 2 teams verse each other. Look, I think it's a position that Old Scotch are quite familiar with, unfortunately for them. A team that's won a premiership 2 years ago, grand finalists last year, but they have started the last 2 seasons now very sluggishly. Yep. And last year they did so in a manner that they put themselves so far behind the 8 ball that it genuinely took a mathematical chance for them to get there. And yes, all the sort of dominoes fell into the right places, so to speak. and they were able to go on a sort of a miracle run, and yes, they fell short, but you can't leave that sort of stuff to chance, regardless of how good you're playing at the end of the year. You've got to try to nail consistent footy all year round so you can give yourself your best chance come finals time to win a premiership. And at the moment, they were comprehensively walked off the park today by a team that's missing their best two players. So maybe it says more about old Zavs than it says about old Scotch. Who knows? But it'll be telling come end of year, because I think both these teams have a big opportunity of being up the pointy end.
The VAFA's award-winning weekly podcast and now vodcast has all the latest news, views, scores and analysis from around the Ammos. Jason Bennett, Matty Donald and Braden May. You can watch it on VAFA YouTube, or you can download that one wherever you get your podcasts. Always a very good listen on a Tuesday evening, on the drive home from work, or a Wednesday morning. Take your pick. If they're missing any action from the top division of the VAFA, you can tune in to For the Love of the Game. Comprehensive coverage across the board. But I think that'll do it for us here from Camberwell Sports Ground. It's been an unbelievable day of footy, particularly for the old Zabs, doing the double, winning the seniors fixture by 54 points. 18-11, 119 to 9-11, 65. 4 goals the way of McIsaac and O'Sullivan, and 3 goals the way of Tommy McRae leading from the front. Cal Panuto and Cooper Watkins, thank you very much for your company and the entire KTV and VAFA.com team to putting this one together. I've been Cal Cummins, and we will see you next week.